seas started to get rough, and Vesh broke his prison door open. The seas got rougher, and Jenna, aka the wilted flower, used Hef's blood as lubricant to free her hands from her shackles. The seas got rougher. Jenna's pet bird Wally's mate, Garuda, worked with Hef to get his hands free from his shackles. The seas got rougher yet. Naxos threatened to tell the guards about Jenna's freedom from her shackles unless she helped him escape also. Then the damned Kraken arrived and ripped the ship apart. It pulled the guards and prisoners out into the sea, but in the chaos, Jenna was able to free a young girl trapped below. Sharks arrived, merfolk arrived, a Kraken was there. All is lost. Find out if this group of prisoners lives, dies, or something worse this week on the evil tides of Saltmarsh.
Oh man, that's good. Yeah, take DM inspiration.
Damn, is that the voice you're going with?
I don't know. I'm a little sick.
I don't know. No, it was really good. It was really, really good. I'm just
It
really
was
looking forward
way
to
better than the underwater voice. Yeah. Yeah. I was worried about you with the underwater voice. Like, I didn't know if you were actually trying to drown yourself. You were like waterboarding yourself, like you were like dying for your art kind of thing, or
dedication.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Thanks, Crash.
Yeah, no worries. All right, cool. I think that sums up everything. Looks like we got everybody here. We're a little bit past the start time, but we've done all sorts of IT work and random stuff like that. I guess quick announcement for the big server. I was asked with colorful language by many people to remove Pokemon. So I have. If you were loving that Pokemans and that you felt like there was nothing finer than Canadian Terry stealing all your Pokemon right out from under you, I encourage you to join their actual Pokemon server where hundreds of people will do that to you every 5 minutes. But it was too spammy. Even if you muted the app, you would check your phone and you'd see notifications and you think, hey, something cool is happening with D&D, and it would just be people yelling at Terry for stealing their Pokemon. So so unfortunately, rather than deal with like a billion different filters and whatnot, I just kicked the Pokemon out. So I'm sorry. If you love Pokemon, if you love Pokemon that much, you can be super disappointed this November when Sword and Shield come out and are terrible. So, all right.
I love to hear that sort of optimism.
Yeah. I had high hopes. I had such high hopes I was going to buy my own Switch so my daughter and I could play it simultaneously, blah, 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 but I no longer have high hopes. If you, I think that's about it. Like, I'm going to leave the level up thing because it's really not that obnoxious. And eventually there would be like server perks and stuff for leveling up. And I don't know. People like feeling like they're leveling up. I don't know. It's a weird thing. That's probably why they play Dungeons and Dragons. All right. Other than that, we're ready to jump into this thing and get started. So
I liked it when Pokemon spawned in the other channels and Terry couldn't take them.
So, you guys were picked up by a group, a school, I guess, of mermaids. There were 7 in total. The mermaids are keeping you close to the surface so that you can breathe, but sort of leading you away from the scene of the crime. And that is where we will kind of just pick up. And so for now, we will just theater of the mind this thing. So yeah, I guess we could just continue from here, unless narratively you would like to be railroaded, at which point I would gladly do so. But if you have other plans, we could totally hash this out and see where it goes. But the mermaids do seem to be taking you somewhere. There's an intent to their actions.
I'd rather take my chances with them than the open seas, particularly as I'm currently on 1 hit point.
Hef would just be kind of paying attention to his surroundings as they take us wherever, just to try to maybe mark where the ship was at.
Sure. If anyone has the Outlander background, they would have a pretty good sense of where this is going, or where you're headed. If you have the Keen Mind feat, you are aware of compass directions at all times, so that would help. Otherwise, you could certainly attempt a survival check to see if you can sort of make sense of what's going on here.
With my navigator feat, where I can't be lost if I can see the sun or moon.
Yeah.
Well,
that would also
like,
that would also kind of fall in line with Outlander and Keen Mind. So thank you. That's a new one that is not readily accessible in my brain database. Yeah. So Naxos and Hef, you both realize that you are heading east towards the coastline. So these merfolk are sort of taking you in that general direction.
Can I see on the map where we shipwrecked at?
Let's see.
Like ping me or
that might be a little bit harder to figure out, because you went from essentially a cage to
the outside.
to the open water. Yeah, and so knowing that which compass direction you're going is a little bit easier than the rest. Now, the people on the ship were saying that you were going to arrive in Waterdeep shortly, and ships generally travel, according to the Saltmarsh D&D 5th edition supplement, 5 miles an hour seems to be about the average speed of a ship.
5 knots? What? Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, they made decisions, sort of like why are dragons so freaking slow when dragons used to be able to fly, like 120 miles an hour or something. Whatever decisions they made, they were for board game mechanics, I'm sure. So yeah, the ships are very slow, but that means that you could be, oh man, I guess if I were to like click on this your map over here, you would be somewhere around the word Saltmarsh on the map.
Okay.
Yeah, so that if they are bringing you towards the coastline, it would probably be to the general vicinity of the salt marshes, Daggerford maybe, or the tiny like shithole port city of Saltmarsh. So it's probably one of those 3 places. Hopefully not the Saltmarsh. Saltmarsh is full of lizard folk and all sorts of nastiness, black dragons, green dragons, all kinds of grody stuff, swamp hags. It's not a happy place to be.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Can we continue the whole Saltmarsh campaign without going to Saltmarsh?
I mean, you could certainly try. All right. So that is what is happening there. Does anybody have anything they want to do, or are you kind of just literally going to go with the flow here and then see what happens?
I get it because of water.
If I can see a merfolk, I'd like to ask it where it's taking me.
Okay. Let's see.
I speak Aquan.
Oh, nice. Aquan, the common tongue of the aquatic realms. Let's see. Yeah, there seems to be one in particular who is like ordering the others, that has sort of a commanding presence over the others that are there. So let me pop her mini out here real quick. She is right there. So yeah, these merfolk, they definitely have more fishy parts than human parts, for sure. They're humanoid in nature, but they have more in common with the merfolk of the Magic the Gathering universe than they do of like Disney's The Little Mermaid. So they definitely have a lot more like Piscean like features. I guess kind of like the shark folk from Legend of Zelda, like the fish folk, the Zora or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have a lot more fish parts going on than you might think traditionally. All right. So yeah, some of you are in nets. If you do not like being in a net, the merfolk do not seem too worried about you escaping now that you're out in the deep ocean. And if you put up any sort of like a struggle that would slow them down, they release you from the nets so that they are not sort of impeded in their progress. They do not seem comfortable being out this far in the open ocean.
They don't seem comfortable.
Yeah, they don't seem comfortable being this far out in the open ocean.
Okay.
But as you address the leader in Aquan, what do you say to them, Jenna?
Hello. Where are you taking us? Just curious for several reasons.
She kind of nods to you, acknowledging that you spoke to her, and she says, and again, Aquan above the water, it just sounds like people cussing on SpongeBob. So it's just like horrible dolphin sounds, like just coming out. But like underwater, Aquan sounds like this beautiful, like sea siren melody that is enchanting to hear, and even from like Hideous Monsters, it kind of has sort of a whale song kind of quality coming out. But yeah, above the water, it's just like a horrible, like keening dolphin scream type sound. Very hard to learn. You have to be very smart, or share some sort of aquatic heritage to sort of pick up such a tricky language. She kind of winces in pain, and then she dips her head beneath the water, motioning for you to do the same.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, and then in Aquan, she says, "We are on a rescue mission for our employer. The mission was successful. You are all being escorted to meet with him."
Who's your employer?
My employer is a man known as Parsons.
Have I heard the name before? Is it like renowned?
You can roll a history check.
A 9.
Yeah. Parsons is like, it's like the Faerun equivalent of like having the last name Johnson, like it's a super non-noble, just common surname.
Okay. Were you sent to rescue us or her? And I reference to the girl that we get let out of the cage.
Okay. Her eyes kind of narrow a little suspiciously. Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
Okay. Natural 20.
Yeah. She kind of narrows her eyes, but she realizes that you're just interested and maybe a little scared, trying to figure out what's going on with your situation. She says, "Yes, we and the Kraken work together to free that girl."
Oh, you work with the Kraken. That's lovely.
We were told to bring back anyone we thought would be of value.
Oh, so do you plan on selling us to slavery, or is that just up for your employer to decide?
We will simply bring you to Parsons, and that will be our end of the deal fulfilled, and we will take our payment.
Very good.
So does your boss pay well?
All right. She kind of turns and sees you. Are you speaking also in Aquan?
No, I don't know it.
Okay,
so
okay.
I might not be able to do that.
All right. Do you see them talking and kind of swim over to find out what's going on, sort of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they are making like whale song at each other, like kind of musical, like underwater singing at one another.
In Aquan, Hef would say, "Fair maiden, Princess Jenna asked you where you're taking us. Could you please tell us?"
Yes. strange creature. I am taking you to Parsons. He operates out of a human nest city named Saltmarsh.
Oof. I've only heard terrible things of that place.
What is your name, maiden?
It is a place of death, to be sure. I am Mariana.
Thank you, Mariana.
I have some business in Saltmarsh anyway.
Hey, Crash,
Well,
question.
sure.
Didn't mean to be that guy, but am I up, or did they like give me a revive, or what's up with that?
Oh yeah. So you have been stabilized for sure, and a burly merman is carrying you in his arms, like a blushing bride as he swims along.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
So, yeah. Mhm. So it will be a few hours of swimming, and more than likely, it will take a toll on you guys to do this much swimming, especially if you do not have a swim speed. Those of you without swim speed, the merfolk will assist you in your endeavor. Those of you with a swim speed, they will also assist you if you'd like, but you can certainly, fend for yourselves. As you get closer to the shoreline, they are going to want to travel underwater so as not to be seen by the surface folk, as it were. So there is going to be sort of a holding your breath situation going on. Who does not have a natural swim speed?
I don't.
Everyone except Hef.
Afra doesn't, yeah.
Naxos and
Maybe
Hef, I think, are the only ones that are aquatic.
Okay, so
Yeah,
those of
Jenna's
you,
been riding on Hef's back. He may have suffered
Alright.
exhaustion at this point.
those of you without one, you guys would need to make athletics check and also a Constitution saving throw. Mm-hmm.
Oof.
Yeah. So, man.
Now,
Okay.
Hef
I
would
was-
be helping Jenna the entire time.
Yeah, I
Right,
was
right.
like riding his back, frozen to him.
Oh, in that case, Half, you will need to make a Constitution save.
Oh man.
Yeah. Okay. So, let's see. Wow. Non-swimmers. Maybe it is all the adrenaline from the Kraken attack and escaping from the prison ship, but you guys are able to swim and swim and swim some more. And it does not take its toll too badly. Veshkadel, however, you are a terrible swimmer, it seems, or at least you're really struggling with this. Maybe you just got banged. You got banged up pretty bad in the fight.
Yeah, the wounds got the worst of him.
Yeah. So you're probably going to need help, or you will fall behind. Is that something your character would be able to do? Is accept help from these strange fish creatures?
Well, it's not that he wouldn't accept it, but he'd never ask for it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Seeing that you are falling behind the rest of the group, two merfolk kind of swim up and each grabs like an arm essentially and kind of pulls you along with them. Hef, yeah, you do gain a point of exhaustion from the effort of carrying Jenna all this way.
It is my pleasure.
All right. As you guys approach the coastline, and they do ask that you dip below the waves, it is fantasy underwater beautiful, even here on the kind of Sword Coast, as it were. So you kind of dip below the water and begin making your way towards wherever they happen to be leading you. It's a little confusing. This is a good time to refresh for you how long you can hold your breath underwater. Yeah, it is very generous in in fifth edition how long you can hold your breath. So that's good. Hold on a sec. We'll go off of the compiled underwater rules.
It's
The
kind of
easiest
harsh
way to
on
do it.
spellcasters, though, if I remember rightly.
It
'cause,
is, yeah,
yeah.
it is pretty rough on them. So let's see. Holding your breath. Yeah. So when you can hold your breath for a number of minutes, freaking minutes here, equal to 1 plus their Constitution modifier. If your Constitution modifier is terrible, I think it still gives you another 30 seconds because it says minimum of 30 seconds. So yeah, not super duper realistic, but you guys are heroes, and you know, you need to be able to do your business. So you guys kind of approach and you dip down, and then the merfolk kind of surge forward, either carrying you guys or offering you know, ropes that are made of like a kelp like material that you can hold on to, and they sort of jettison you along the underwater area. You seem to be entering into like an estuary, or is that the word for it? It's like where the river meets the ocean.
Yeah,
Area.
that's the word.
Yeah.
For it, yeah.
And so you kind of head up that, and now you are sort of swimming up a river, as it were. And then they pull you into sort of a underwater cave that is located at the bottom of this river. And from there, you arrive in an underground complex. So let me go ahead and gather up your minis, and we will go over to this underground complex. Alrighty. Let's see. Stop with this, and
God, 1 minute of air for spells with verbal components. Oh my god.
yeah, you want to have a real good Constitution score, or just get underwater breathing as quickly as possible. Alrighty.
Or
So
just make all the underwater enemies float to the surface.
no, there you go. Or just never go on underwater adventures. That would work too. Alrighty. So, you surface, and you are in a cave, and there is water in the cave. There is, of course, mushrooms growing in the cave because it's damp and gross. And in Dungeons and Dragons, the mushrooms get everywhere. Up ahead, there is a brazier burning, and there is a set of very solid-looking double doors. So let me move you over to here. And the doors are open, and you see two figures sort of standing guard. One of them seems to be a female human, a Kalashite human, and one of them appears to be a tabaxi, some sort of cat person. They both
Is
are
that girl with us?
Oh, yes. Let me grab her real quick.
Is Wally with us as well? I figured he wouldn't have been
Oh, yeah.
summoned, most likely because of the ship catastrophe stuff.
He got scooped up with the others, and then the merfolk are there also.
Hef looks at Aphra, and in Thieves' Candy says, you know, will you work with Jenna and I?
I'll respond in Thieves' Cant, and I'll say, depends on the pay, and depends on what it is you're trying to do. I'm not opposed, though.
Live, survive.
Well, yeah, I'm definitely a big fan of living. So yeah.
Vesh
Alright.
only broke the chains on his shackles, so I'm assuming he's basically still wearing the ringlets on his wrists and feet.
Yeah, I
Do
mean,
they still
they
have their
didn't
power?
of suppressing magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So these two guards, one of them seems to be a cat, sort of a psychotic grin permanently plastered on its face. The other seems to be sort of what the bards might call a desert bloom, just a very beautiful woman of Kalashite descent. They're both wearing not to be classist here, but they're both wearing rogue-like equipment. So they're both wearing leather. They have blades and daggers strapped everywhere. They've got hand crossbows at the ready. They have like sort of a scarf cowl situation that they could like pull up over their face and heads if they needed to. Very organized, very almost uniform look of people that get up to disreputable activity. All right. And so they see Mariana and they see all of you kind of splashing out of the water and getting up onto the shore. And the Tabaxi nods and he leaves real quick. And he comes back with an elderly human. This human seems to be of sort of Damarian descent. Just sort of a pale skin, kind of willowy build sort of thing. And as he looks over, he is in fact holding a teacup, as per his miniature. And he just sort of looks over at the Mer woman, and she looks back at him, and he says, yes, fantastic work as always, Mariana. You will find your reward in the 7th location. And she kind of nods at him, and then you just see a splash and a tail, and the merfolk are gone. Alrighty. So, the man holding his cup, flanked by these two others, he says, well, come along. Yeah? You'll catch a cold if you hang out there. It's too damp. Are you hungry? Because I think the cook has something going. Might be warmer by the cook fire anyways.
That sounds delightful, thank you. And Jenna, I guess, would jump into the water and then
Okay.
go across. Is this a wall?
Yeah, the water here is surprisingly deep, despite being not very wide. So it is definitely like a trench almost, that kind of cuts through the stone.
So Hep would jump in the water so Jenna could walk over him.
Oh man, human bridge. All right.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, and as Jenna passes the Tabaxi, she's just like, such a shame they put such a pretty face on guard duty.
All right. It kind of purrs in your general direction. The insano grin on its face never fading. This way, please.
Gotta fly over the water.
My computer is stroking out, so I'm going to restart real quick.
Okay, I'll move your menu for you. No worries.
Thank you.
Unless you wanted to hang back for sneaky stuff.
Quite a
Nah,
lovely
I'm cold.
establishment you have here,
I
sir.
like fire.
Plus darkness. There you go.
All right, all of you need to clear out. We're gonna need the room. And you look around, and there are a great many colorful characters in the room. There is a kobold that is dressed like he's in a Clint Eastwood movie. There is a sea elf who looks like she is going to be filming like Ocean's 14 any day now. There is a Triton who looks like he never misses a day at the gym. There is a very sort of cocksure tabaxi that looks like he totally embraced being a monk, but also wanted to be a pirate. There is an albino tiefling, and there is a Eluskin human who is wearing a strange top hat and trench coat. And they say, and she says, Parsons, you sure you've got this? And he says, just, be handy. And I suppose you should let him know that she is all right. And Top Hat Lady kind of nods, and they all sort of start filing out of the room.
So, you girl, who are you, and why did they want you?
Also, can somebody do something about this guy? I think he's gonna want to know what's going on, and he seems to be a little out of it.
I could rouse him if you were to remove these shackles. And he holds his hands out.
Oh yeah. And so this dude goes up and, like, quick as you can, there's a lockpick in his hand, and he starts going to work on the shackles. All right.
To what do we
That's
owe
Once
this?
they've been removed, he'll nod his thanks, and then he'll use lay on hands to wake Garuda up.
What are these? Rhocidium, Nephilian alloy. This would be pretty useful. And he sort of tosses the shackles into the corner over there. So yeah, I bet you have a lot of questions. First and foremost, my name's Parson Perry. You could call me the Goblet. That's what most people professionally refer to me.
I'm sorry, the goblet?
Yeah. Some people seem to think I have a drinking problem. So
Don't we all?
So that is not tea in your hand, then?
Oh, I mean, some of it is tea. Most of it is brandy. So.
Here.
Is there
Right.
bottle of alcohol on the table?
You hear a large stompy sound, and you see just a massive green creature kind of walk into the room. It's got a cigar, a cute little hat. It looks around and says, "Oi, we got company, huh? Well, this here rat's good enough." And he starts grabbing bowls off the shelf and starts cutting pieces of meat. Very like, have you ever gotten like a gyro?
A gyro?
Yeah, sure. And they kind of cut the meat off of the big chunk of meat. He's just sort of like spinning this and cutting meat into bowls and passing it to you guys.
I eat
So we're
without
having
hesitation.
shawarma.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Okay.
Does Parsons have any like religious markings on him or any? Was he wearing anything?
No, he's very much dressed in like noble rogue chic. So like he definitely has sort of the leather armor, blade strapped everywhere motif going on, but he does seem to be presenting himself in a much more higher up manner than the two guards you saw before and the strange people that were in this room before he shooed them out.
When Jana gets her rat bowl, she would look around for some kind of liquor to pour it down. Is there any on the table?
Yeah. They left a big jug of rum out on the table.
Yeah, she'd just get herself a big cup of rum to
Yeah, and
wash down the
Parsons,
rat.
Yeah, he sees you reaching for it, and he says, "Oh, of course, hospitality. Whatever's on the table is up for grabs. There's bread, drink, fruit. You know, you've had quite an ordeal if things went according to plan. A kraken, am I right? That's something else."
It's quite marvelous.
So
Well,
who
I
is this
believe
girl and why all the
not
trouble?
right word.
Yeah, the entire time this girl is being very, very quiet and kind of keeping her mouth shut. Oh, about that girl. Oof, wow. I don't really think it's my place to tell you, but I will tell you that she is very much the cause of all this.
You
And I
sent
guess
the
that's really
Kraken
all I
after
can
us,
say.
girl?
Oh, I didn't send the Kraken to do anything. My employer asked a friend to help him with something, and that friend obliged, apparently.
Then
You
your
must be in contact with very powerful people.
He certainly tries his best.
then your
So-
employer owes Princess Jenna for she saved this young girl.
Well, I think that your lives are a pretty fine payment to start, but I feel like the books are still definitely not in your favor, strange one.
I was going to say, what is the catch? Why are we alive?
Well, I asked Mariana to bring me anyone else she found that she deemed persons of value. Apparently, you're the ones that she zeroed in on.
What sort of value?
Basically, people who weren't immediately killed by the Kraken were brave enough to fight it, were trying to adapt, survive. People with skills, people with potential.
Did she miss
Jenna's
one
gonna
hell of
put a dainty hand on Parsons' wrist and be like, so what is her value? And she's gonna kind of like just look at him, like those puppy eyes. What's her value?
To
Referencing to the
me,
girl.
nothing. To my employer, she is invaluable. Isn't that right, Anna? And the girl just kind of sneers at him.
Anna, you don't look like you very much want to be here. Um, what's your issue with them?
Anna just kind of keeps quiet, but she just starts eating in earnest. So don't let her distract you. She's a part of this, but a very small part, thankfully. So we have a business, obviously, that we're running, and I don't want to say that the turnover rate is bad. Maybe it would be the attrition rate. It's dangerous work. We are always recruiting new talent, and Mariana has a good eye for these sorts of things. So I thought perhaps we could at least talk it over with you, see if you are interested. I'm not saying that in any way that you're prisoners, that you're slaves, or that you're even indebted to us for rescuing you from a lifetime of misery within Waterdeep Prison, or a fate worse than death if something in the deeps had pulled you down and made it its eternal thrall or meal. But I mean, these are all things that could have happened if we hadn't been involved in the process.
Mm.
Well, that's fair. And depending on what you need, what resources you can provide, I don't think we'd be opposed. And I'm going to look
Ah,
around toward the others with my eyebrow raised.
yeah, well, as much as I like looking at all of your supple naked flesh, step one would obviously be we get you kitted out with the equipment that you need to succeed. Step two is there is a new operation, a new gang operating out of the area, and we need to nip that in the butt. So I have already sent a team to investigate, and they have not returned. So you could see the attrition that I mentioned earlier
Yes, yes.
in effect there. Yes. So this would be sort of an opportune chance for you to see what we're about and decide if like this is the sort of work you like doing and the sort of compensation you like receiving, and a chance for us to sort of vet your skills and see if you are the kind of people that we would like to continue a partnership with.
Well, you seem like a very good partner and a very resourceful individual. Um, if there's good pay and paths to power, I'm willing to do anything.
Vesh slams his hand down on the table. He's like, if you will have me work for you, I have one request. I need you to find out, are we being sought after in Waterdeep? Do they suspect we all died, or do they not? It is important.
Oh, right. Well, that's the sort of protection that our organization can provide for its members.
What is the name of your organization?
Oh, well, it's not too great a secret. And he points, and you see that there are some tabards hanging on the walls nearby. And I will throw them up as a handout real quick. Hold on just a sec. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, it depicts a flying snake over a it is some sort of coppery bronze flames over a black background with a flame.
Do I see if I recognize the
yeah, they've done some very good PR and marketing. So you can, I mean, anybody who makes a history check of like 8 knows who these guys are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oof.
Okay.
The disparity. I have no idea. I have no idea.
Man, maybe your father sheltered you a little too much in certain areas. I don't know. But yeah, those of you who do know, you know that they are the Zhentarim. They are essentially the Sword Coast Mafia. They are a criminal organization that has a very good public relations department. So everybody knows that they up to some shitty business almost all the time. But they also are like, look at this orphanage we opened. Like, you know, we're the best. You know, that sort of thing. So they are very slick at keeping themselves out of trouble and keeping their members out of trouble. But they are almost always in trouble or the cause of trouble.
Okay. Afra's gonna say, okay, so what you're proposing, just to sum up, is we go find out what happened to your missing team.
For sure, yeah.
Okay, and in return, you
and
will...
part 2 is you finish what they started, which is investigate what's going on with this rival organization. Our intel tells us that they go by the name the Scarlet Brotherhood.
Well, I would say doing this little investigation would be a fair trade for our lives and equipment. However, beyond that, if there is killing, if there is battle to be done, I would expect some form of payment.
This, as you say that, this woman who has been standing awkwardly by the door kind of clears her throat, and the goblet raises his glass to her and looks over, and she says, "Anna, your brother will see you now. Come along." And Anna, good luck. And then she walks up to the table and she says, "This is from the boss. he wants to show you how appreciative he is of your assistance with the recovery of his sister. And she drops a bag of coin on the table. And then the two of them go to leave.
This Nexo starts counting it. So I'm under the table, I guess.
Hef is just watching him count it.
Yeah.
Alright.
Jenna eyes Hef to make sure that Hef is watching him count.
Yeah, there is 100 gold in the bag. And then Parsons kind of like points his glass towards the bag, and then looks back at you, Afra, and he says, "We are well funded, and we compensate talent. Don't expect to receive anything for nothing."
Very well.
That is fair. I will say, in order for us to complete this mission, I will need roughly 10 gold worth of incense and charcoal.
Whiz robe things, of course.
And a pearl.
More than likely, you'll need a spell book as well. I'll check the library to see if we have one right around your age bracket.
Appreciate it. And if any additional spells you may have lying around, I'd very much like to take a look. They could improve the success chance of this mission.
Let's see what we can do. Any other questions for me?
Can I look what's in those chests over there?
I mean, they're communal chests. More as like you're just going to find food and maybe some games. You like games, blue one?
I don't know how to play games.
So, we can handle this a couple of ways. We can have you led outside of the city, and you can begin work right away. Or if you'd like to risk it, I can have you escorted to the surface, wherein you can immerse yourself in the culture that is Saltmarsh. Perhaps you could find information that our previous team was unable to, that would assist you in your investigations. But we do know where the team went, so I will, of course, tell you that. 3 hours outside of Saltmarsh, along the sea cliffs, there is a haunted house. That is where we believe the smuggling operation that the Scarlet Brotherhood has started is operating out of. Not a bad choice. You're new to the area. You don't want to be too close to town, but you want to be close enough to enjoy the benefits of the town. You pick a known haunted site, assuming you don't get killed by the spooks that live there. It's an excellent deterrent for anyone that might want to find out what's going on. So yeah, you would just travel 3 hours south along the coast, and you will find it. The people like to call it the house that crawls, on account of the fact that the house always seems to be slightly different every time you look at it.
Lady
I have
Jenna.
a question.
Can
You
I
were to escort
see?
us to the coast. Then,
So yes, sir.
how would we
sir?
return here without having to go through this Saltmarsh?
Oh, right. Well, we would escort you to through one of our many tunnels. You would come out on the coastline, and then you would, of course, at that point know where the tunnel is to get back in. A bit of a risky move on our part, but if needed, we'll always just collapse that tunnel and make a new one.
It seems some of us look a bit tired and weak. Could you hold us up for the night?
Oh, that would make sense. You should probably get some rest and then head out.
Also, Crash, can I see if I know anything about the Scarlet Brotherhood and the House that crawls?
Sure. That would also be history checks. One for each. Yeah, so Scarlet Brotherhood, somehow you don't know about the Zhentarim, but you do remember information about the Scarlet Brotherhood. Scarlet Brotherhood are religious zealots who are into some old-timey, like, demon devil worship kind of nonsense. Because their beliefs are essentially illegal in most places, they do have to live a life of crime to cover costs and whatnot. So it's sort of they're criminals by necessity rather than by choice, because their religious beliefs make it impossible for them to fit into normal society.
Do I know like what demon they tend to worship the most, or?
They are equal opportunity, like cultists. So whoever is offering up, boons and blessings at the time, the Scarlet Brotherhood will kind of jump on board for that. So they're kind of slutty when it comes to their worship.
Okay.
Yeah. As far as the house that crawls, I mean, yeah, it's like I think 100, maybe 200 years old. It is a real thing. It's just a haunted house south of Saltmarsh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
At
What
least
is
at all in the
the
house, there's no risk of drowning.
what is the name of this place that we're in now? Do we have a
You're in
hideout name?
You're in Saltmarsh. Oh, a hideout name. That's adorable. No, there's no special name for our hideout.
Okay. And if when we complete the mission, how are we supposed to find our way back?
Again,
I guess you didn't expect us to complete it, but
if you know, I have every confidence that you will return to us.
can I incite his confidence?
Sure.
So would I.
16.
Yeah, he's not too confident that you'll return. So, yeah. He's so confident that you'll return. Like, I don't think anybody's believed in you as much as this guy does in your whole life.
Real too.
Carefully, maybe looking for a new master.
No, like I said, depending on which route you decide to take, exiting through the town or exiting through the sea caves, if you return to the sea caves, our lookout will see you and warmly receive you with open arms. If you decide to take the town route, we have eyes and ears throughout Saltmarsh, so we will be quite aware of your return.
And what kind of payment are we expecting upon our return after removing an entire organization of demon worshippers?
Oof. I mean, don't oversell it, sweetheart.
I've heard of them. I know what they do. That's
There's a big difference between worshiping something and summoning something. Yeah. So it just has it has like cooking like supplies, like seasonings. There's like there's meat in there, fish, dried fruits, nuts, that kind of stuff. Let's see. My offer would have been a lot more generous had you not just received a sack of gold from the big guy. Let me see what we can do. Obviously, there's the whole we saved your life, you're not indebted to us, but you kind of are social mechanic that we're working here. And there's the offer of future employment if you manage to complete the original assignment. But I think we could definitely make it worth your while, taking into account the cost of all the supplies we'll be giving you and all of that jazz. Yeah, how about this? We'll throw another 120 gold at you, and you can keep the supplies we give you. And of course, whatever you find there, whatever odd trinkets, whatever things you find on your prey, you could certainly, pocket that. I mean, we're not there. How do we know? But I will say this. This is a rival organization smuggling right under our noses in our territory. So if you find the goods that they're smuggling, it would be prudent to make us aware of them. Because if you took those goods and tried to sell them, then you would be smugglers, and then I'd have to find another group to come after you.
Very well.
You see
Smuggling
how
is
that works?
too much work. You needed to worry it from us. I'm
Yes,
not quite interested.
and laundering coin and stolen goods is just one of the many services we offer here. So it might be something to consider.
Ooh, that's a good
One
service.
thing I would ask:
Have
do
access
you
to.
expect us to kill them, or just to send them a message?
Oh, yeah. I mean, murder them all. Like you don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to let them go. I
Would you
mean,
like scalps for each
if
one,
you
or faces?
we're not savages. I trust that you will do your best. Here's the thing. There's never just one tiny group. Everyone is working for someone. So the more information you can squeeze out of them, the better. And if anything has value in this world, it is information. Do you follow?
Yeah, Jenna nods her head with him. Oh, I follow quite closely.
Can I leave? Do I have to
Can
do
you
this
leave?
mission? Are
Oh,
you
I
forcing me
mean,
to?
oh, no one's forcing you to do anything, sweet bird man.
So if I leave right now, you won't come after me? I don't have to watch my back every second?
No.
Can I really see if I
We'll
believe him?
we'll just hire your next character. So that's fine.
Low.
Well, perception, I mean, it'd be more of an insight thing.
Oops,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Hef would like to know if he would end up dead if he left. If the bird dude left.
Okay.
Well, he knows the location of their hideout now.
Yeah.
It would
It
be
depends.
it would be a dangerous proposition to leave in so much as you guys are and this is DM saying this to you guys. In so much as you guys are escaped convicts. So there are obviously like drawings of your guys' faces, descriptions of you, all that jazz. So they would probably not have to do much to just have the cops, the fantasy cops, as it were, do the work for them.
Mm.
And then an organization like this, even if you were like, I know about them and I know where they are, they would be like, okay,
Yeah, that's what
yeah.
I thought.
So, but you do get the feeling that this guy would prefer you didn't leave, but is completely indifferent to your safety and your continued existence, Garuda. He is completely dismissive of everything about you.
That's a good thing.
Birdman, I think if you left, he would just hire us to kill you.
Very possible. I'd much rather not kill you, since you helped Hef from his son. But I will if I must.
I look over at Lady Jenna. Just continue eating. Continue on.
And then Parsons in Thieves' Cant, which sounds like a completely innocent conversation about baked goods, tells Hef and Afra, if he tries to leave, you have my permission to do whatever it takes to prevent that, and will be rewarded accordingly.
Half signals back. Affirmative.
Afra will shrug non-committally.
Mhm.
Jenna
All
will
right, well.
continue to eat her rat.
Let's get you folks suited up in a exciting equipment putting on montage, and then you can have this block of rooms right here. Each one has a bunk in it. So buddy up, I suppose.
Hef can stay with me, and she eyes you like you're sleeping on the floor.
Where's that robust Triton sleeping?
Oh, robust Triton. Oh, you must mean Ridis. Down the hall.
Should I risk it for a biscuit? Knock on his door.
Well,
What's
it's
his name
You
again?
blue boy.
What's his name again?
The Triton's name is Ridis.
All right.
I can't see anything with this darkness on. Where's the door?
Do water genasi not have dark vision?
Nope. Only fire genasi have dark vision.
Oh, rip.
I was like
Yeah,
finding
Naxos.
random rooms.
Yeah, you find a training room. There is a bard, and she is playing some music and cheering on the combatants. And you see a human woman and a big turtle dude, and they are fighting it out in a ring.
Don't mind me.
Crash, you want to give me a camera?
Yeah, sure.
Before Jenna leaves, she wants to ask Parsons, would you like to spend the night with us? Be quite a wonderful time. Eyeing him with googly eyes.
Yeah. So, oh, there's already an existing character for that. Sweet. All right, hold on. I thought cameraman was set up for everybody.
Getting real lost in this complex.
Yeah, you should already have a cameraman. There you
There it
go.
goes. Yep. Appreciate it.
Okay. Yeah, so Naxos, as you're sort of just wandering around unsupervised in this thieves guild, I would assume that your character has a pretty decent wisdom to be a cleric. There are some alarm bells going off in your mind that are like, maybe this isn't the smartest thing to do. Because that's what wisdom does, see? Wisdom tells you when you're doing something really dangerous.
Why is there a Muppet in the room with me? That's
Ignore that guy. Ignore that guy. That's the cameraman. He's gonna film your untimely death. So yeah.
I'm gonna go back here and ask that bard where the bedrooms are.
Okay. She looks at you and your strange getup. And she just sort of waves offhandedly this away.
I was way off. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Good luck. Let us know in the morning what you decide. The town or the sea caves. I have things to attend to. If you'd kindly head to bed, blue one.
Trying to find them. My underground navigation's not so great.
All right, roll a deception check. That's a damn good deception check. All right. He eyes you, and he says, "Listen, you squid worshipping piece of shit. Go to bed. It's that way."
Just looking for some strange.
Just
I'll get on my way.
go to that way. All right, and you and the doors kind of close behind you as you go.
So, did I gain the 10 gold worth of incense and charcoal?
Yeah.
All right, then I'm gonna put them with coals in the brazier, and I'm gonna light them up. And it's gonna take me a while, and I think it takes me 20 minutes as a ritual. No, but an hour and 10 minutes later, I have summoned Wally.
All right.
Are there no actual asking outside of game? Is there no actual bedrooms for me to be looking for while I'm staggering around this place?
Legit, bro. They told you where the beds were. Like
Over here,
Right
dude.
You waved over there, and that's where I went, and then I never
Just
found
drag and, I'm having the same problem. Just drag and drop us in there somewhere.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
your
that's-
guys would be over here. There you go.
Lady Jenna,
it.
this
It's really
group
dark.
may be able to help you.
Yes, I think they, some of them seemed quite resourceful on the ship. Maybe it's best we stick our lot with them until we can get back on our own feet.
The man.
Can I light a torch?
Yeah, if you want. Are you gonna sleep with it?
Well, I can't see anything. I think you've turned the lights off or something. 'Cause that's,
I
It's
mean,
pitch black.
that's what you do at bedtime, Naxos. You turn off the lights and you go to bed.
Are there
I
two
wasn't looking to
beds?
sleep. But
Is this like some character backstory I need to know? Are you afraid of the dark? Because this could be very useful to me.
I was hunting for the Triton, but never mind.
Oh, so you just thirsty. I got it. Okay.
I've been on that ship a long time.
Are there two beds or only one?
It's a bunk bed. So one of you could be the top and one of you can be the bottom.
Heyo.
Jenna still
Hey.
insists that half sleep on the floor, and Wally will take the other mattress.
Dang. Alrighty. The hour is late. Rogues in general, Thieves Guild, they're kind of a nocturnal operation. So they're out and about doing their biz. You guys, however, said that you needed some rest, which I think obviously you do after the ordeal that you went through. And unless you decide that you need to set a guard, you guys could rest for your 6 hours and wake up refreshed and ready for action.
There's nothing worth stealing currently on our person anyway. So.
Right, they
Alive.
would literally just be stealing back their own equipment if they robbed you.
Yeah.
I think Wally, I open, right?
Yeah, Wally's not sleeping. He's a spirit. He doesn't need sleep. He just watches the door from your mattress. So we basically have all our equipment and stuff. Were they able to provide any additional spells than the?
Actually,
set out?
actually, familiars do need sleep.
Oh, do they really? Okay,
Yep.
then Wally sleeps,
Yeah.
and we don't set a guard.
Unless the creature specifically has it listed as an ability in their stat block, they do require food and sleep.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't list that. so
Because
he'll
while
sleep.
he's a spirit, you've built him like a real body. So like he's in a body, and then he's kind of bound to the restrictions of the body.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hep would,
sounds-
If you
Hep
made him
would-
if he was a construct based familiar or an undead based familiar, he would not need food and sleep.
Nah, I'm not interested in things like that.
Yeah. Alrighty. So the night
Yeah.
goes on. Anyone have anything they want to try to do? Otherwise,
If they had any additional spells, I would scribe them into my book if I could.
Spells carry price tag with them for sure. So even sort of handing you the spell, and the spellbook they give you, like they did their best to sort of clean it, but there are some like blood stains on it. That maybe the last person who had it got some. Few days of anonymity before everybody kind of catches on, like, wait, like a prison ship like wrecked off the coast, and this, that, and the other thing. So that being said, the dude might be just trying to scare you into doing what he wants, which is immediately going to investigate the house. Yeah. Not to like make the choice harder, but those of you who know about, like, being a criminal, that there's no way that people would know that the ship had sunk, not for like a couple of days at least.
And for a penny and for a dime.
Hef, what do you think is the safest option?
I follow you, Lady Jenna.
I know that, idiot. I'm asking you, with that fucking brain of yours, which you think is safest. You're the thief. You're more criminal than I.
The haunted house. We need to earn their respect first, I think.
I fear I agree with you.
I'm sorry, Mistress Jenna.
All right, so what's the final call?
Yeah, I think we're down for caves and going straight there.
All right. Well, we will use true democracy then, and we will do caves. All right. So the morning comes. They provide you with essentially some dry rations for breakfast: salted fish, dried apricots, some weird like pecan type nut, and basically just water, and of course rum. It's sort of a on-the-go breakfast option. You are led through the tunnels by Beefcake Triton. And
Now I find him.
yeah, Beefcake Triton. Let's see. Cowboy Kobold and Albino Tiefling are all going to sort of lead you guys through these sea caves. Alrighty. So you start doing that, I guess. Traveling through the sea caves, they wind and travel along. Occasionally, they're partially flooded, but not impossible to pass through. You get wet socks, obviously, at some point, which is just one of the worst status effects in the game. And eventually, though, they lead you to the end, to a dead end, and they pull on like a disguised lever, and the stone like moves aside, and bright daylight comes in. Not too bright because it is very early in the morning, and the day is a bit overcast. And of course, these are westward facing caves, and the sun rises in the east. But for peeps who have spent, quite a bit of time underground, the light of the morning is still quite bright as it comes in.
Hef would
Alright.
examine the lever and try to make sure he understood how to open it from the outside if needed as we left.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a tinkering tools or an investigation. Yeah. It is your understanding that it can only be opened from the inside.
Okay.
Opening it from the outside would require like brute force, essentially.
Okay.
Should we just knock when we get back? I'm a little confused.
They
Yeah.
said they have people on watch. They will see us coming.
On this part too?
Yeah, so the Triton, who is now disrobed down to nothing and is heading towards the beach, says, "Da, that is correct. We will know when you return, and we will let you in."
Thank you, sir. And
Alright.
I'm gonna get a quick look at what I see.
Big old slong.
Yeah,
Quick
yeah.
look.
He's a fine specimen of an aquatic man, and he leaps into the waves and begins to swim about.
Jenna just starts brushing she hand fans her face.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, the albino tiefling is blushing hardcore, and notices you hiding your face, and she blushes even harder. And then the little
Fesh
kobold,
just kind of rolls his eyes in disgust at the whole thing.
yeah, the little kobold has lit up a big fat cigar, and he's just like, disgusting.
Never thought the one I'd agree with in this group of NPCs was the kobold.
There's nothing
There's
nothing fouler in this world than breeding. That's for sure.
What's your name, Kobold?
The name's Dinos. Something funny about my name?
I didn't laugh.
No,
I
not
heard
at all.
somebody laughing.
It's
You
just
see him-
that
you see
bird
him
doing bird
you see him
things.
looking around with his little cowboy hat. He looks like a scaly Clint Eastwood if Clint Eastwood was played by a midget.
And what is your name, lass? I say to the tiefling.
Oh, my name is expressive.
Oh, it's a lovely name.
She blushes and hides her face behind her bangs and her hood. I really appreciate that you guys are going to find out what happened to our friends,
'cause, it's really fucked up about like this new group, and they were just doing their jobs, and I'm kind of worried that things didn't work out so hot for them.
Oh,
Who
would you
led
like to?
this
Would you like to
previous?
come with and see for yourself how they ended up?
Well, no, that house is too haunted for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Some
too
people
bad.
think that the whole house is actually a mimic, and that's why it's called the house that crawls.
Oh, can I insight her? See if
Yeah,
she
sure.
actually believes it is a mimic. We should have taken proficiency in insight.
Yeah. Hef and Jenna, she legit is scared of that house. Like she does not want to. Yeah, she does not want any part of that. That's part of why she's probably thanking you, because she would probably have had to go if you guys weren't going.
Brushing the bangs out of her face. I'll do my best to get your friends back to you.
Expressive. Is there a secret way in the house that you know of?
No.
She seems very confused that you would ask her such a question.
I didn't build the house, so I would not really know that information.
Should we know anything about the previous group that went there?
Sometimes a house has a front door and a back door, and sometimes there's windows you could go through.
How long have you been working with the Zhentarim Expressive?
Oh, for a while. Yeah.
Do you much like it? Much like it here? Do they treat you well?
They do. They do. I did not fit in too well with anywhere else, so this is a good fit for me.
That's good to hear.
And I like to take things that don't belong to me, and that normally gets me in trouble. But here it gets me rewarded.
Yes, you seem very resourceful.
So good luck. And she kind of like slinks away, like shoulders kind of stooped, like she's trying to be a turtle almost, like, and just kind of hide inside herself.
Maybe you should check your pockets.
There's like the grossest sound on somebody's mic. Like
Yeah,
whoever's
I
like, yeah, like I mean, the game's very exciting, but whoever's like glazing their donuts right now, can you please like mute? Can you please mute
Stirring macaroni. Somebody's stirring
Yeah,
macaroni.
that's
now.
seriously.
And there's
just
only
mute,
one girl in the group, so
mute mute your
God.
mic. Mute your mic if you're going to be doing that kind of stuff, because it's gross. Also, we're streaming, so if you are going to do that, we need to know to charge for the stream. So, all right.
I don't even know what's going
we
on
need to
anymore.
we need to relocate off of Twitch to
All right, let's move all these here minis. Let's see. There we go. All right. So as you go to leave, is there anything else that you need before you head out?
um
We would have just suited up with weapons and basic gear that we have. So.
Do they have
Correct,
guns?
There are guns are super rare in Forgotten Realms. Yeah, they did not have any guns available for you.
Fair
Guns
enough.
are still being developed, essentially, at this point.
Hey, gotta shoot my shot when I can. Yep.
No, it's a good question to ask, but yeah, if you guys had guns, man, they would be pretty valuable, because they are in progress, as it were. Alrighty, so you guys begin heading along the sea cliffs
yeah,
towards
and
your destination.
Jenna would just like look around at everyone. Who looks like the best survivalist of this ragtag group?
What
Does
do you
anyone
mean
look
by survivalist?
like someone that could find their way
Outdoors.
back somewhere, someone that could like, traverse wilds safely, that kind of survivalist.
I've got some pretty good survival and stealth and perception, and I have cartographer's tools. I can draw maps.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice, nice. Yeah. Jenna would look at you and she'd be like, you said your name was Afra, right? Can you? I'm not too sure of landscapes and stuff. Can you just make sure you're able to get us back?
Yeah,
Keep track of the route we
yeah.
go.
I can make a map.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, Afra, like it's not a very hard map to draw because you're literally on the coastline. But I mean, some people are impressed by the simplest things. So, yeah. Uh, if you're near Saltmarsh and you're on the coast, that would put you on the Sword Coast. You would be south of Daggerfall, and very far south of Waterdeep, which was your, original destination, as it were. Does anybody have any, I don't know, questions about the region while you're here, while you're traveling, or are you just gonna sort of make your way along the coastline looking for this spoopy house?
Vesh has lived his whole life in a city, and everything since he left Timantha on the prison ship has basically been completely foreign to him. Although he's not one to get all googly-eyed at new experiences or anything. He'll probably look noticeably a bit lost as he's following you guys mostly.
All right. Down below, the waves crash against the sea cliffs. Now, it is called the Sword Coast because the coastline is just full of jagged ass rocks that, kind of look like swords a little bit. So it is a rough coastline. So it is very much like Pacific Northwest, like the northern parts of California, Oregon, Seattle, in North America. So it kind of has that similar climate, and it also has that similar like coastline. So there's a lot of like sheer cliff drops, not a lot of sandy beaches, not a no Caribbean theme going on here. This is a rough, dangerous coastline. As you guys are walking along these sea cliffs, the height of the cliffs varies anywhere between, say, like 30 feet and 100 feet. So as it is not just a completely flat trip. So you are kind of going up and down as you traverse the coastline. All right.
Hef would just be watching where Jenna's stepping and kind of guiding her without her knowing it, so that she doesn't fall off the cliff.
Ah, okay. Like them old timey cartoons where the cat had to watch the baby, and the baby kept, almost getting itself killed. It's like one of those numbers.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna have Wally fly like 100 feet above us. I'm sorry about the dog.
All right. You guys are startled because the crane makes a weird dog sound as it kind of takes flight from her shoulder and enjoys the wind in its wings, as it were. All right.
Where did you get that from?
Oh, he's a friend of mine. He'll come and go often.
Just don't eat it.
You needn't worry about him.
All right. So the day is windy. The temperature today is going to be about 59 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's going to be a pretty chilly day. You guys are in spring right now, spring season. And do I need to do Celsius for people? Does anybody in the group need Celsius?
Nah, it's alright.
Okay.
There's like one British guy, I think.
I know, and I don't mind doing Celsius. I just gotta know.
I know Fahrenheit as well, Dory.
Oh dang! Okay.
Oh my god! I'm in a group with a German DM, and he says everything in the metric system, meters, and it's awful. Terrible.
So he uses a system that 98% of the planet Earth uses. What a bastard!
Yeah, and I hate it.
All right. The low today is
America.
going to be like 48. There is going to be winds about 20 miles per hour, so they are, pretty tough winds going on, especially this close to the coastline, and slightly overcast in the skies. So that's where your weather's at. Sorry to interrupt you guys. Just wanted to, but you were
Can I make a
asking
roll to predict if there'll be a
Veshkadel.
storm?
You were, yeah, you can check for storms. That would be a survival or a knowledge nature. I would allow either one.
Too bad I didn't have advantage because I don't know anything.
Yeah. It
It's
you
just
could
hard
take.
to read.
Yeah, it's the weather. Am I right? So let's see. Veshkadel, you were asking Jenna about magic before the DM rudely interrupted you.
Yeah, as they're walking along, he just slightly pushing like in an inquiring way. He was just like, on the ship, he seemed to do nothing but roll around and cry. It appears maybe there's more to you than that.
I was freezing everybody's chains so they'd break easier. I don't know what you would mean about rolling around and crying.
I could only hear
Quite
nods.
embarrassed. And Jenna, she casts like a minor illusion of her frostbiting Naxos's chains to like help him break out of them. Like that's what I did.
I understand. So you are some kind of spellcaster.
I
Maybe
am
I
a wizard.
underestimated you. If I
I'm a wizard.
insulted your honor, I apologize.
Hmm.
Oh,
Pussy.
duly noted. Thank you, kind sir. And she kind of gives you like a little blush, a little thanks, thank you. Just a little hand gesture at you, like it was too much. You shouldn't have.
He still rolls his eyes at the all of the girlish you do because he suspects there's a bit more to you than that. But yeah, he nods and then I think mainly he will feel like he wants to lead the party even if he doesn't know what he's doing. So he's going to walk up here next to Naxos and just try and copy him.
Nice.
Try and pick up something from him.
So can I get one survival check for the whole group? If two people are proficient in survival, one of those two people can roll with advantage.
I'm proficient.
I'm proficient, but I would suggest somebody else roll.
I can roll.
I have 3 survival.
All right,
wait,
there you go.
let me.
Oh yeah, you have advantage, so you get to roll it again.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay, that's a very strong
We
check.
surviving. We surviving.
So, things that you notice in this area. Things that you notice in this area. A lot of birch trees in the area. The plant life is healthy. There's nothing like too terrible about it. Animal wise, lots of sea cliff dwelling birds are in the area. As far as land based creatures, you find signs of giant weasels. You find signs of, let's see. Oh, yeah, coastal scorpions. Ugh, or not scorpions, sorry, centipedes, coastal centipedes, which is a little disturbing because they are highly venomous. So that's a little disappointing to discover. And you actually find a very interesting thing a couple hours into your hike as you get closer to the house. You find a snake skin. The snake skin Afra is about 40 feet long.
Oh. Well,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
So that is what your survival check yields. Is that information?
Okay. So I'm gonna mention to everyone, there's maybe some wildlife here, so just be on guard.
Okay.
Look around.
Oh goodness. Yes, please do well to keep us away from that. As we approach the mansion, can I have Wally do like a quick 1 over flyby around it, see what it looks
Yeah,
like?
yeah. So here is the beautiful artwork that was included with the adventure of the spooky house on the cliff.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah, I don't know who those people in the picture are, but that's the general feel of the house. And because I've been doing this a while, I have an aerial photograph of the house to show you. What?
Okay.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Can I also use my historical knowledge to know something about it? Its purpose, its builders.
Yeah. You may attempt a knowledge history check. Garuda,
Jenna would
I'm
tell her
tell you,
what she knew about it as well.
when you
Yeah.
see that, when you see the little crane flying, there's definitely some feels there. I would assume, because you haven't been able
Definitely.
to fly in a long time.
Definitely feels. All I want to do is spread my wings right now, but I realize if I do, that right now is not a safe place to do that.
Jenna uses minor illusion to basically produce that aerial photograph handout, so
Okay.
everyone can see what it looks like from the sky.
So do you do
Pulls
me a
out her bit of
solid?
fleece.
You do me a solid and become Liam O'Brien and like get like way into being a wizard and be like, I'm catatonic. I can only see out of my birdose eyes. Someone hold me up. Don't talk to me. I can't hear you. All that stuff. Is that happening right now while you do your
Well,
aerial
she would
investigation?
just be piggyback on Hef's shoulders,
Okay.
kind of just out of it.
Yeah. Because when
holding
you when you're
because you can still hold on and stuff.
right, but you're mostly unable to do squat while you are in the mind of your familiar, essentially. So
Yep.
I would assume that you and having worked together for a while, he knows to sort of piggyback you. Oh, archaeologist, that's right.
Yes.
Well, let me tell you all about this house then. Let's see what we got here. Yeah. Fearsome hauntings, shrieks, eerie lights, secret of the house. Okay, more secrets. Yep. All right. Adventure summary. Haunted house. Okay. Such a strong background. Like not enough people go for that one.
Yeah.
That's what I plan on taking on the knowledge cleric I'm building. Seems really good.
Yeah.
So its original name was the Oculary Manor, is what its original name was. And an individual lived there. His name was Winston Grimm. And Winston Grimm was a very rare type of arcanist called a artificer, an alchemist. So he was interested in the alchemical arts. He was way ahead of his time. He was obsessed, almost clichédly obsessed, with the all of the classic alchemist craft. So philosopher's stone, turning lead to gold, all that classic alchemy stuff. That nobody could ever crack. He had sort of dedicated his time and fortune to that. So he retired from adventuring. He built this house and he pretty much threw himself into his work. It is said that by the end he lived alone, he died alone, and he died in that house. Now the house does have a reputation for being haunted. Some people claim that Winston Grimm had an elf lover who threatened to leave him, and he wouldn't let her. So he walled her up inside the house, and she died there and became a banshee.
Awesome.
So it is said that there is a horrible screaming sound that can come from the house, which is a little spooky. It's also said that when his serving staff, guards and maids and butlers and all that, tried to leave, he walled them up as well, and that their spirits still still guard and serve to this day. So that the house definitely has a sinister reputation.
Okay.
Yeah. Some people thinking that maybe there's some like, rich fancy stuff have gone there over the last 2 centuries or whatever and, looted things from the house. So you doubt at this point that there would be much of value left in it. Since it's kind of a popular spot for baby adventurers to go and like prove how tough they are. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as confirmed sightings of undead, that's where it starts to break down a little bit. Like there really aren't a lot of strong confirmed sightings for undead in the area.
Okay.
All right. So that's the information that you were able, with your awesome background, to pick up.
All right. So, guys, I don't think that we have to worry so much about the spookiness, the haunted house. I think our main adversaries are going to be the cultists who have set up shop here. Granted,
Fair enough.
if we could potentially use the house's reputation to our advantage, some of you people who might be illusionists. I'm gonna raise my eyebrow at Jennifer.
Yeah, Jenna, she's like looking at you intently, like waiting for you to speak.
Well, if you can find your way around doing something creepy, that might help us out a bit.
I think I could manage some things.
All right. Now, given that you have a full aerial photograph of the house, where do you want to approach from? At the bottom of the map, which would be east, the bottom of this map. No, sorry. It would be west. Yeah. So the bottom of the map would be west because you're on the west coast. The bottom of the map where the road kind of goes up into the... Here, I'll throw the map up again real quick. Where the road kind of goes up towards the house and there's the gates and everything, that is the front door. That is the main entrance of the house. Now the house is, I believe, two stories and change, like 2 stories with a gabled roof situation, but it is not very tall. So it's only about 30 feet tall. So like you're probably looking at like some low ceilings inside this place. There is from what you could tell, give me a perception check for Birdo, for Wally.
Okay. All right.
So we want a Wally perception check. Yeah. So Wally, you see what Wally sees, but it's hard to make sense of what is there. You imagine that in the picture, in the top left corner, it looks like there's some kind of fenced-in back patio or garden type area. And then in the top right of the picture, it looks like there's some kind of courtyard area. Now, these old-timey mansions, they have lots of doors, lots of entrances, lots of exits. How would you guys want to approach the house?
It looks like it's quite flammable. We could maybe perhaps just burn it down. Pick them off as they run out.
It's a pretty big house. Can we guarantee that it's gonna burn all the way? Because I don't want to be flooded by angry Brotherhood members who are mad we set a corner on fire.
There's never a guarantee per se, but we could have the stealthier members go and put a bunch of kindling around the house, and I could just light the fires from a distance. That would, however, destroy any loot, most likely, which I'm not necessarily in favor of. It was just an idea I was posing.
No, there's
We were instructed
probably
to find out what
not.
cargo they were smuggling, weren't we?
Yeah.
Also, the building is made of stone. Yeah, so there's that. Yeah, there's definitely wood involved, and the wood would burn, but the framework of the house itself is still stone. But the roof and everything is wood, so that would definitely catch. And more than likely, interior stuff like the floors and whatnot probably burn.
Maybe a
Here's some
fire be a
flavor text for you.
distraction.
The road to the house winds through the rocky coastal terrain, often offering a view of the sea below. Low clouds press upon you. Occasional patches of sunlight peer out over the water. Stiff wind blows off the waves, carrying the briny stink of churning salt water. The decrepit house sits on the highest ground in the area. Around it, a stone wall has crumbled in many places, exposing the interior grounds. An ornate metal gate lies open at the end of the road, swaying slightly in the wind. Wild flora grows throughout the inner yard, but all of the years cannot hide the evidence of that a well-tended garden once grew there. Near the house, the rotted wooden roof can be seen sort of collapsing in on itself. And the house is 35 feet from ground level to roof peak. The roof is gabled. There are several holes where the slate shingles, my bad, I guess the roof is not made of wood. Yeah, so that's the general feel of the outside of the house. So should I move you guys over to the map for the house, or do you need some more time to plan and prepare your approach?
I think we should go in through that courtyard area in the back left of the house. That would be the northern entrance. Man, if only I was a higher level spellcaster, we could barrel cannonball through this thing.
Well, we could walk up to the front door and try and talk our way in. That's an option too. This is a well-known haunted house. We can ask for a tour.
When they say a haunted house, I'm fairly sure they don't mean it's a tourist attraction.
Wow. I mean, for a particular brand of adventurous tourist.
I mean, I feel our mission is to kill them all.
Well, on the subject
but...
of that, do we really wish to sully our hands with the blood of people that we know nothing about? I don't want to burst in and murder everything in sight if it turns out they're not doing what we were told they are doing, or perhaps that they are not who we were told they are.
I'm quite sure that Mr. Goblet was telling the truth.
Well, all the same, he said that there was another team that was sent here. Before we do anything else, we should try and find evidence of that. And if we find any of them alive, then we should ask them.
That's a fair point.
That's not quite the approach I expected from you, Vesh.
Well,
quite disappointed.
It's not that I mind killing, but there should be a good reason for it. And
the reason is
listening blindly to the words of others is not the reason.
Without the aid of the Zhentarim, we're wanted criminals.
Who's to say that if we were to aid them, we would not be wanted criminals? I bet every person in that room was a wanted criminal.
Yes, but the way thieves guilds work, they tend to, I feel, offer protection. And
Besides,
I also don't think they would be very
below?
happy with us not completing the mission they asked for us after saving our lives.
Maybe they wouldn't.
Well, Afra's going to break in and say...
They would still be happier than those that we murdered.
Look, we don't have to make any decisions right now. No one is complaining about taking a path where we see what's going on first. And then, once we know a little bit more, then we can make our decisions.
If a man comes at me with a sword raised, or dares to point an arrow at me, he will die.
Very
good.
good.
Maybe we should all hide over there and let Afra go to the door and talk with them alone.
That could work.
Yes, and what if they just bundle her inside and we never see her again?
Well, then you can all rescue me.
Can I do a
Then they wouldn't.
perception check to see
It's
on
quite
like a good way
difficult
in?
to. It's quite
Perception
difficult to
check to see
rescue and
different ways in. Was that the request?
Well,
Yeah, like maybe the best way in.
Oh, I don't know
that's
if
already been
perception
kind
be
of mapped out.
Yeah, I don't know if that would be qualified under perception because that would require like thinking and stuff, whereas perception is just what you can see. But yeah, you could throw out a active perception check if you'd like.
Well, I'm gonna guidance myself first because
Okay.
I'm doing this very consciously, and man, I would add the D4, but that's probably not necessary.
Okay.
so it always helps.
Yeah, again, from you would not have the same advantage to seeing as like a birdo flying up top, but you see that just along the front of the house there are 10 windows that are all busted out, and there is the front door, all of which is accessible past the stone wall and the iron gate. The Iron Gate, of course, horror movie style, is just being blown in the wind. So it's just kind of creak, slam, as the wind continues to blow it back and forth.
What we should really be asking is where would a group of thieves have entered?
If
they have not returned, then
Probably the garden.
yes. So if they have not
Okay.
returned, does that not mean that they were found or spotted or killed?
Probably
So is that
sacrificed
entrance
for
really
the
safe?
summoning of demons.
So
That's what
am I hearing backyardigans, or are we gonna try the front door?
I was gonna ask if you guys don't mind waiting a moment, I could have Wally fly up to the windows and peer in, see what he sees.
That's always exciting. Letting the wizards familiar scout everything. Yeah, that's cool.
That's why I
Right.
asked if they didn't mind.
Very
I
good,
don't
very
wanna be
good
that
etiquette.
guy.
Yeah, very
I don't
good
want to
etiquette.
be that guy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hearing
mean,
no complaints.
We could give you. I could give you I could give Wally the whirlwind tour if you'd like, to kind of give you an idea of each of the rooms.
I mean, I'd be down for it if everyone else is.
Okay.
Let us not spend an age
go for it.
planning our entry.
I'm ready to go.
Time to spot us.
Naxos is impatient.
All right.
If they're ready to go, then we can go.
All right. So,
That's fine.
just type. Let's to commit to this. Type into Roll20 chat how you want to approach the house, and then we will either split party or use True Democracy.
Let's not split the party at level 1 for a start.
Yeah,
That
let's
sounds
go
good
with
now.
True Democracy.
Okay.
The Northern Courtyard, guys, is that like back entrance looking thing.
Yeah, but should we maybe instead of going through that obvious second entrance, find a window in that area to go in?
Yeah. All right. So we got 3 votes for backyard. Anybody else? Somebody's got their scuba mask on.
They have. Someone's doing the heavy breathing. It's the follow up to earlier's shenanigans.
It's a little creepy. Let's see.
Set in the mood.
All right. Sounds like we're gonna try the back door, but as you approach, you guys have some very good passive perceptions in this group. You do not see any guards or humanoids at all as you approach the property. Alrighty, so let me move you guys over to this here map, and it's daytime, so let me put down some daytime lighting here.
I'll be back in just a second. I need a drink.
All right. There we go. So if you see these weird tiny suns everywhere, that is just lighting. So don't panic. This is a dynamically lit house with a bunch of broken windows. So I will warn you up front, the dynamic lighting is going to be a little stupid. Let me move you on over to this here map. Can everybody see? And I guess the question is, can you see everything? Because
Nope.
it's a pretty big map. So if everything loaded for you, please refresh your browser. Sometimes the bigger maps, the dynamic lighting won't load all the way.
I can stealth up and look in the window if you want, Lady Jenna.
Go take a look. Take Wally.
Alrighty, so I will draw, I guess, onto your map here so that you guys have a better idea of what's what. There's a back door that is the pink arrow, and then I will draw all the windows for you so you have a better idea of the windows. So we got window, window, window. Just love houses. Boy, howdy, are they fun. Window and window. Alrighty. Hef, what a fantastic stealth check. So you start moving up towards the house?
So on the window that he is
Mhm.
going to look through, I'm
Mhm.
gonna get out a bit of fleece, and I'm gonna cast minor illusion to make it look like Hef isn't approaching, and it's just what they would see looking out the window.
Oh,
I don't think
I
minor
got
illusion
you.
can move, can it?
Well, no, he's saying that he's going to throw up a 5 foot by 5 foot, like, essentially animated painting of like the courtyard being empty.
Yep.
So if
Over
somebody
the
looked
window.
out, yeah, somebody looked in the window. Here's the tricky part, though. It's going to be hard for Hef to see through the illusion
Well,
because the illusion is it's a two-way illusion.
Yeah, but
So,
if you know it's an illusion, you can see through it. And I'd have me and
so
Hef have
you
done these things
you
before.
you so
So
you're going to
Wally,
let him know before he heads up, right?
well, yeah, and Wally's kind of like pecking at him to let him know that it's an illusion. 3
He's
pecks for
pecking at him
illusion.
in the elaborate Morse code system that
Yep.
you and your familiar and Hef all know ahead of time.
Yep, we've been together for a while.
Did that use one of your language slots?
It's really just like 3 pecks for there's an illusion there. It's not really that complicated.
I gotcha. Okay, just trying to establish boundaries here on your secret silent communications. All right, so because there's like an entire cantrip just for that, so it'd be a shame for that cantrip to lose its job to
Yeah,
you know,
I don't have that.
randomly made up languages. All right, so you guys start heading up. You throw up that illusion. This is the window that you're peeking in. Go ahead and give me a perception check, Hef. Okay. Hef, as you look in, you are pretty sure that this used to be a kitchen of some kind. Let me describe it to you a little bit more detail. The kitchen is dirty. It's damp. There's patches of gray mold and cobwebs on the floors, walls, and ceiling. In the corner closest to you, which would be
Sorry,
over
I'm
here,
back.
I am going to have to put you right up on the window to get a good look, though.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah, there's a sink right on the other side of the window, and let's see what else you see. Yeah, it is a cracked and discolored stone sink. Let's see. There are some wooden cupboards. There is a staircase that leads up to the second floor, and opposite the window is a door. And in the corner opposite, there is another door. So there's a lot going on here.
But there doesn't appear to be anybody inside.
Not that you can see, no.
Afra would like to kind of look around and see if she can see any evidence of people or like the second team that might have come by, because I'm assuming they would have
Sure, yeah.
probably
This would be
approached.
a survival check or a investigation check because you're trying to make sense of what you were seeing.
We'll do investigation.
Okay. Yeah. So as you start to look around, It definitely seems like there has been a lot of foot traffic heading towards this back door.
Okay. And is that
Also there is signs that giant weasels and giant snakes have been active in the area.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. And these human footprints, are those recent?
Yeah, so what
Or
I'm gonna do,
yeah.
since everybody's getting curious and minis are starting to move all of their own accord, I'm gonna have everybody go into initiative so that I can better keep track of what everybody is up to. So go ahead and select your mini and hit that initiative button, and that'll give me a better idea of what everybody is getting up to. It also ensures that everybody, even the shyest members, have an opportunity to kind of jump in with what they are trying to do. And let's see. Jenna, what are you doing? Afra seems to be taking stock of the area. Naxos seems to be wandering over in his clanky armor to investigate what's going on over here. Your man and your bird are peeking in a window. Everyone else seems to be holding back. So Jenna, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm just gonna hold on to the illusion and just kind of like wait for Hef's word, and I'll just
Okay.
come back to you.
All right, Naxos, you are getting a little impatient. I'm assuming. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna clamber up to a window and look in myself, I guess.
Okay. There is already a dude at that window. You kind of start heading over there. Yeah. If I correct me if I'm wrong, but you're wearing some pretty decent armor, right?
I think it's chain.
Chainmail. If you're a
Yeah.
Tempest.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
definitely loud. Hef, can you give me a perception check? Another one, real quick.
To the GM or open?
It's open is fine. Yeah. So as the sound of Naxos kind of raises all of the goose flesh on your neck and forearms, you start to hear a scuttling and almost like a chitinous sort of grinding sound beneath the floorboards inside the kitchen.
Is it moving in a certain direction?
It sounds like they are waking up. Large insect-like creatures beneath the floorboards are waking up to the sounds that they are hearing. Naxos, you go and you look in this window. As you do, let's see. This room was once, from what you could tell, a writing room or study. Against the wall, directly by your window, is a large wooden writing desk. It is partially broken and is riddled with damp rot. You see patches of like mold growing furry and vibrant on it. Yeah, what else? Everything else in the room seems to either be broken or looted. There is a door opposite the window, and there is a stone fireplace along the opposite wall. It is not lit, of course. So that is what Naxos is doing. Wally, what are you going to do?
Wally's just on Hef's shoulders, kind of like hiding behind him and just listening for anything that Hef tells him to relay to Jenna.
Okay.
And he's gonna take the dodge action.
Alrighty.
Shield.
Garuda, what are you going to do? What's going on?
I'm looking at this sheet right here.
Mhm.
Is it dead or alive?
It is actually alive. It's just looking a little spooky. Probably just in context with everything else around it. But yeah, it has adorable spring buds that are trying to turn into leaves, and it is it's doing its best. Knowledge nature check would tell you what kind of tree it is. But
More
yeah,
a
it
sense
doesn't seem
of
like it.
can it hold my weight? If I was to get in it.
Uh, I mean, you have like mostly hollow bones and stuff. You could certainly
Yeah, so
fly up to the top of that tree if you wanted to. I wouldn't recommend anybody else try it, but you
yeah,
should be okay.
yeah. I want to try to fly into the tree and
Okay.
see if it can hold my weight.
All right. So yeah, you could perch up here. You're probably about 15 feet off the ground now. The tree does kind of bend a little bit under your weight, but you don't think anything is going to break. It's a healthy tree.
Okay, and can I see like the higher windows, like on the second floor of it?
Yeah. So you look over and you do see from this height that there are some additional windows there. From the tree, you can see 4 windows on the second floor. Give me a perception check. Oh yeah, very good. All of those windows seem to look in upon a upstairs hallway.
Oh, I like that. Okay, I'm just gonna chill in the tree for a minute to see if I
All
see
right.
like looking for like any movement or shadows movement weirdly or anything.
Yeah, it seems completely abandoned upstairs, at least from what you can see.
Okay, yeah, and I'm good.
All right, Vesh.
Well, he looks expectantly at Jenna. He's like, "Has your bird seen anything useful? Are we waiting around now?" And then he looks up at Garuda, and seeing how everyone else is kind of just peering in and doesn't seem to be particularly on alert or anything, he kind of just shouts up to Garuda. He's like, "What do you see?"
I look at the dragon person and shake my head.
You don't see
And
anything.
I'll leave it at that.
All right.
Well, if he doesn't see anything and they don't see anything, I don't see why we shouldn't just head inside. He heads on over here just to kind of stand behind these guys.
Okay. What kind of gear are you wearing? Also
He's wearing
chainmail?
chainmail, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
right.
my goodness.
Yeah, you hear more sounds from underneath the floorboards have just sort of like kind of like weird screechy sounds, and the grinding of chitinous hides and the scuttling of many legs and body parts. All right. I skipped because it was out of order, Afra. So what continuing what you're doing, your investigation of the area definitely tells you that a lot of humanoid traffic towards this door. Also, presence of a very large snake, probably the same one that you found the skin from. And also a lot of signs of giant weasels. More than likely, they have sort of a predator prey situation. Food chain where the snake eats everybody, and the giant weasels eat the giant bugs that live here, kind of thing.
All right, circle of life. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna hiss at Vesh that just because it doesn't look like there's people here doesn't mean there's not other things here. Maybe be a little quiet. And then I'm gonna this right here, is that like a wall? Or is that just like a low fence or whatever? What is
Oh
that?
yeah, this is a stone wall. Any of these outer bits of stone that you see, and
Yeah.
they are about 6 feet high where the wall is intact. I
Oh,
didn't
not
I
there.
didn't
Sorry, right
dynamically.
around the door is what I meant.
Oh yeah, this is just a low. This is a very low wall, so it's maybe 2 feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
It
gonna.
would be enough that crossing it would probably count as a difficult terrain situation, but
Yeah.
being in it wouldn't be a big deal.
So I'm just gonna kind of go up to the edge of the wall here.
Mhm.
And just I want to investigate the door, check for traps, that kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, so you're gonna start moving up to the door and all the way up to it to check for the traps and everything, or are you gonna look from a distance
No,
to see if you
just from outside this little low fence area here.
Okay. Yeah, give me a perception check to see if you spot anything unusual. And then while she's doing that, Hef, yeah, loud dragon guy is coming up behind you. Loud cleric guy is over there. The creatures living under the floorboards of the kitchen are highly agitated. Perception 14. You don't see anything unusual about the door. Nothing really stands out. You don't see tripwires. You don't even see like little bells to let anybody
Okay.
know that the door is being opened.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Back over here. Hef, what are you gonna do?
Hef looks back at Veshel and says,
You're making a lot of noise. There's something in there waking up. Why don't you go in there and check it out?
and then he steps off to the side here and looks back at Jenna and says, "There's something here," through his hand gestures, and
You can just tell Wally, and I'll know.
yeah, tell Jenna, and then I'm gonna ready an action. I'm gonna ready my hand crossbow in case anything shows up.
Okay. All right. Let me add some adorable buggies to the initiative.
Or just don't.
That's true. That's true. All right. So Jenna, yeah, you could tell because you and Hef have known each other for a while, just on his body language, that something is in there that he is not comfortable with, and you also kind of get a feel from your birdo that, yeah, there's danger in here.
Okay. Did Ephra tell me about the weasels?
I don't know. Alfred, did you
I
share
gave you.
weasel information?
I gave a general warning that there are creatures about,
Okay.
and especially some implied to be some scary creatures, not specifically weasels or snakes.
All right. I'm gonna stealth up away from. I'm gonna just stealth up over here, and then
Okay.
I'll just ready a frostbite cantrip in case there's any enemy.
Ooh, stealthing is an action, so it would take
Oh,
your
okay,
action
okay,
to stealth. Yeah, and remember, if you guys are not a rogue, not only is stealthing an action, or sorry, if you're not a high level rogue, but you do move at half your normal speed while stealthing.
Okay, well then I will lightly step over here, and then
Yeah,
ready a frostbite.
action economy is not kind to stealthing, which is why rogues get cunning action at level 2.
It's also not kind to level 1 characters in general.
Yeah. So you are using your concentration slots as you maintain your readied spell. Got it. All right. Nobody is at the window right now looking in, yeah? So who knows what these buggos are getting up to? I gotcha. All right. I guess I would know since I'm controlling the buggos. What do we got here? Oh, I like that. Okay. Vesh, through the semi-opaque haze of this strange illusion that is blocking the window, you are basically looking at like a reverse image of the empty courtyard. But you can kind of see, I guess not, because Jenna really only told Hef. So
Yeah, I
go
only
ahead and
told half.
go ahead and give me an investigation real quick, Vesh.
This is going to go well.
Yeah. So it is a marvel as you look at the window, because the window displays the same courtyard that you're in inside the house.
Well, considering the bird and Hef were there like moments before, I'm going to assume that some sort of magic is involved.
Yeah. So you're trying.
Even if I
That's
can't
what
see
yeah.
through
That's
it.
why I gave you the free the free investigation. Is you're trying to
do
make
I
sense of it, but
Do I see
I
him
think
looking like real confused?
I think you're kind of occupied over here. Maybe I don't know. Either way,
And he's facing away.
Yeah, either well, 5e, you have 360-degree facing. Either way, you do see something pretty scary. a coastal centipede launches itself out of the illusion at your face, Vesh. This is what coastal centipedes look like. They are adorable.
Oh fuck no!
How big is it?
How big is it? It is about 4 feet long.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah. It is a medium-sized creature. Oh, sorry. These are small size, so these are about 2 feet long. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
God.
about 2 feet long.
That was like nightmare fuel for a second.
Yeah. So yeah, it launches itself out of the window to attack you. Here we go. Oh, so a 7 does not get through your defenses. So you kind of throw up your defenses just in time. Hef
Did you roll?
I
I can't see it still.
oh, oh man, it's doing that thing where it sends everything to like the GM. Hold on a sec.
It's just so annoying. I would have frostbited it too right away, so the frostbite hit, it would have had disadvantage on its attack.
All right, the range on frostbite is 60 feet. Yeah.
It is
60 feet. It says
60
right there.
feet.
All
Yep.
right, cool. So it's gonna make a Constitution save. Oh yeah, it fails it.
Takes 1 damage.
So
and
it would have had disadvantage on its attack and takes 1 point of damage. Also, as it's jumping out the window to attack you, there was a flub from Hep. So let's see. Make a Wisdom saving throw, Hep. Okay. Yeah, as you go to make the shot, you are sort of startled, of course, by the appearance of this creature. You will have a penalty to your next ranged attack roll until you sort of get your nerves back under control. So you'll basically roll a d6 and subtract it from your next ranged attack roll. All right, so that thing is now squirming around on the ground in front of Veshkadel and Hef. That is its turn. Naxos, you hear like a loud scree, and you look, and a coastal centipede has landed in the grass outside of the window and is attacking Veshkadel.
Well, awesome for doing 1 point of damage to it. So
Yeah.
I will turn around and toll the dead with the good roll.
All right,
Oh,
here we go.
That was the wrong one. That was the damage. Damage. Sorry. Oh, it's the same anyway. Okay.
All right. Here we go. It's got to make a Wisdom saving throw. It does not make it. And as you toll the dead, and what was the tolling of the dead for you? What does it sound like?
The sound of drowning. So
okay,
gurgling water in lungs and the claustrophobia feeling.
Creepy.
All right. As the necrotic damage hits this thing, you watch as it sort of just shrivels up, and then it starts to actually bloat, as if from like being filled with water, and then it just ruptures and explodes as the water inside of it causes it to burst.
That's gross.
All over Hef
Well, you
and
did it.
Wally and Vesh.
Yeah, sounds gross. And that's the creature's turn. Or not turn, life. Naxos, what else do you got?
Well, I probably should make a move of some sort. Guess I'm gonna. Oops, I started falling. I guess I'm gonna hop over this wall and kind of crouch down.
Okay.
Only 2 feet
All right.
tall, but I'm crouching. My cover,
Yeah,
I guess.
some partial cover from it. All right, Hef, you have very good passive perception, so you hear one of the creatures as it's scuttling along the wall, and then attacks you.
Is that one bigger?
Nah, they're all the same size. Yeah. So yeah, as it scuttles along the wall and attacks you. So Hef, here we go. That is a 21. So that is definitely a hit.
We still can't see your roll.
Really?
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
see your rolls. Yeah.
All right, you will have to believe me. I thought I had this fixed on the other game, and now it's broken on this game. But yeah, I've done the whisper toggle, the whole thing, but I'll probably have to like essentially reboot the server here. So, which is a pain in the butt.
21 hits.
21, yeah. So 21 hits. So you do need to make a Constitution saving throw against its poison.
Yeesh.
Let's see. Oh my god. Yeah, the DC of that poison is you did not make it. So let's see. You failed. The poison damage reduces you to 0 hit points. You are stable but poisoned for an hour, even after gaining hit points, and paralyzed while poisoned this way. That's rough. Okay. So you take that extra poison damage. So yeah, that is a total of 14 damage to you.
Hef is unconscious. Yeah.
Oh wow. So yeah, so you gain the poison status and the paralyzed status. Yeah, they are highly venomous. Giant centipedes. And then yeah, like very pleased with itself, it starts crawling towards the bird, which will be its next target. Bird, it's your turn.
Wally, come back to me. Wally's gonna deliver the help action on this thing, and then Wally's gonna fly over to me with flyby. No longer be dodging.
All right. Alrighty. So the next attack against this thing will be with advantage. Alrighty. Let's see. Vescadel, another one comes crawling up and then leaps out of the illusion at you.
Damn things.
Here we go. But again, your I believe your armor is enough to protect you. Yeah.
Yeah,
So the thing kind of the thing lands on you and starts like scrabbling against the shield and like shrieking and screeing at you. Venom kind of dripping from its double mouth mandibles. But it plops onto the floor next to you and was not able to get you. Garuda, what are you gonna do?
That one right there. I'm gonna shoot him across my longbow.
Okay. Yeah, you have advantage because it is very distracted by the delicious bird that just flew away. So this will be at advantage.
Can I take the -5 with sharpshooter?
Yeah, if you'd like.
Oh.
Bitch.
All right. Unfortunately, a 12 is not enough. Was that 12 -5 also?
Yeah.
So 7? Yeah.
Negative.
So a powerful arrow strike. It digs deep into the stone foundation of the house, but completely misses the mark of the creature. All right. Anything else from Garuda?
No, I'm gonna stay in my tree.
All right.
I ain't going down there.
Afra, you're up.
Okay. I'm gonna just kind of jump over this tiny little wall and crouch behind it as well, same as Nexus is doing.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna shoot this guy with my longbow. Or my short bow. I don't have a longbow.
All right,
and
this
that
guy
gets-
being the one next to Vesh, or this
yes,
one being
the one next to Vesh. Sorry, I thought I
Okay.
had marked it, but
Oh, no
my
worries.
computer special.
Okay.
I can sneak attack that, right?
It is next to an ally, so you will get sneak attack. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, a 15 is a hit. Go ahead and add that sneak attack damage.
Okay.
Have you got the macro thing turned on your sheet? So you tick the
Yeah, I did. My computer is really slow right now. I'm gonna just for the future. I will.
There's a macro
Let
thing for
me-
that.
Yeah, there is, and it's checked, and I thought maybe. Well, let me.
Just roll another. Is it 2d6 at level 1?
No, it's
1d6.
only one. Yeah.
1d6.
Yeah, so remember, there is a fly-out dice roller on the left-hand side, and I got a dice roller
Yeah.
button for you. So if you
There.
either one of those
Oh,
will work.
nice.
Oh yeah. So this arrow hits this thing, and it is dead. Like it just perfect shot. The hits the creature. It just wiggles like for a second and is dead.
Okay. Yeah, for future games, I'm gonna make sure to bring my work computer home, and hopefully it will be faster.
If you're listening, her work, that's just the name of the computer. It's called her work. It's not she would never use work stuff for non-work stuff. That's crazy.
No, no.
All right. Yeah. Anything else from Afra?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Oh boy. More babies get to go. I loved Hef. Hef was an exciting character. I can't wait to see what your next character can do. Yeah, so that being said, this thing comes. You shouldn't have been so loud, Hef. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, another one comes scuttling out. It sees that there's free food on the ground, and it is going to attack you. Here we go. This is at advantage because you are down on the ground.
But I'm unconscious, so it's automatically 2 death saves.
Oh,
If it hits, it's a crit. Yeah.
it's a crit, and it's a. I mean, it's a double, triple, quadruple crit at this point. I don't know. It's pretty bad. Damn. Okay. Yeah. So that is make a Constitution save though, because you want to prevent this massive damage essentially. Yeah. So you do resist the poison, so you get to ignore the 23 points of poison damage.
What?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Let's see what the let's see.
I'm resisting the poison, and that would still knock me down in one hit.
Oh wow. Yeah, so this thing is digging into your legs. So it just starts like tearing muscle free of your calf muscles and starts like just slurping down strips of leg meat from Hef. So it is going to town on his legs. That is 2 failed death saving throws, Hef. Alrighty. That brings us to the other one. Yeah, the other one is going to scree out the window because it don't know no better. It doesn't realize that this Veshkatel is completely invincible. So here we go. It feels good, right? At level 1 to have such a good armor class. Like later on in the game, you're like, 18's good, but I mean,
Yeah.
at low level, you're like, I am unstoppable. Yeah, so this
Anyway.
this one also slams against your shield and falls down. Alrighty. That brings us to you, Vesh.
Seeing Hef has gone down and he's basically being gorged upon by these things.
Mhm.
I'm assuming that because you automatically strength saves and the like, if I grapple him, I can do it basically for free.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, you could.
as my action.
He is basically an object right now, so you could,
Alright.
you could, you know, yeah, you could grab him easily and then take him with you if you wanted to go somewhere.
Yeah, so I want to pull him out from under those things and
Okay.
then drag him so that he's behind me here.
Okay. All right, and they do not get opportunity attacks because this is forced movement.
Yeah. So that was my action, was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll just move back up here, and then I'll start clattering my shield.
Sort of
With my
draw their
battle axe.
attention to you. Very nice.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
nice. All right, Hef, do or die time.
I'd like to use my inspiration on my death save.
That is a
Yeah.
smart choice. That is a smart choice. There you go.
Hey.
You are
Wait,
holding
roll it
on.
again, just in case you get the 20.
Yeah, you might get a nat 20. Pop back up with 1 HP. Oh, man.
Oh, so unlucky.
All right. I don't know what good it would do to get at 20 because you would have 1 HP and be paralyzed and poisoned. But
Hey, I
it
can
still-
cure the poison. I just wouldn't be able to do that if I got him back up as well.
All right,
That's the
Jenna,
problem.
you're up. It is going pretty badly for your slave over there.
He's not a slave.
Oh, right.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Like 100%?
Like I'm not sure.
We just have a very our relationship is very complicated, and because of that, I'm gonna cast minor illusion, and I'm gonna draw it right here. It's just gonna be like a little 5-foot barrel, oh not barrel, but like 5-foot wall.
Okay.
And it's just gonna block. It's gonna be like opaque stone, and it's just gonna like block the view of hopefully the creatures.
I got you.
Like that.
All right.
Immo-
Vesh. All of a
actually,
sudden, like a stone wall appears, and you can't see Hef anymore. It's crazy.
Yeah, like that. And
Okay.
I'm going to not draw there. I'm gonna grab my token, and I'm gonna run around this wall
Okay.
over here.
All right. Yeah, that's 6 feet. 6 feet high. So you can no longer see them, and they can no longer see you.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's fine.
like centipede poison at level 1, like that is death by massive damage for some people. So just keep that in mind. They are nasty. Naxos, you're up.
Are any of these damaged?
Currently no. The 2 that were damaged are quite dead. Yeah.
I guess I'll
3. There are 3 more though that are here.
I guess I'll toll the one closest to Vesh.
Okay. Unfortunately, you cannot see that one. There is a 5-foot wall of stone blocking it from your view right now.
I cast the wrong one anyway. I need to get this together. All right. Can't see any of them then.
Let's see. From where you're at, gosh, they're down on the ground and they're only about 2 or 3 feet long. So you'd have to move to get sight of them. You're not sure where the hell this wall came from because it wasn't there before. But it is now, and you do see Hef bleeding out that weird brackish blood of his. His body is like seized up. Yeah, you would be able to see like this one over here. All right, so you're gonna toll the dead. Here we go. Wisdom. Yeah. So there's like a gurgling sound inside the creature, and you see like water kind of like covering the creature. It takes 2 points of damage.
And then I fall prone.
Okay. All right. Fall prone behind the wall. All right. Denied its prey. This little centipede is going to rush up to attack you, Vesh.
Luck's got to run out at some point.
All right. Here we go. Nope. 13 does not hit. Okay. Wally, you're up.
Wally is gonna fly over to Hef, and he's gonna try and give him mouth to mouth and perform a medicine check.
I do not believe that is within the listed abilities of a familiar. There's a whole union of chainlock warlocks who would have my job if I allowed a basic bitch familiar to do something like that. But he could certainly go up and try. So it sort of just sticks its beak down into his mouth area and starts making like, warbly toot noises into his mouth.
That's hot.
Yeah.
How did you know my fetish?
Wally like looks over at you and like kind of shrugs its feathers, and then it like raises one of its legs and just starts slapping Hef in the face with its like long leg like over and over again. It's trying everything it knows about medicine right now. All right. Good work, Wally. That brings us to this year's centipede is dead. So I'll take him off the initiative. Garuda.
Hey, I'm just gonna try something real quick, see if this works actually.
Sure.
Boom.
Yeah, I see a -5 is in there.
Okay, cool. All right, so I want to do the sharpshooter or
Although
I'm
it
just gonna
did
do
add Actually, do you have the archery style?
Yeah, I have archery style. Yeah.
Then that's perfect.
All right, cool. All right, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna do a regular longbow. I just wanted to test it and make sure it worked this time.
Okay.
The regular longbow.
Oh.
Are you fucking me? I hate my life.
Yeah. So you line up a shot and you're like, perfect. And then you go to take the shot and it's not perfect. The arrow just goes wide. Probably flies in the kitchen window. Disappears. Anything else from Garuda?
Nope, that is it. I'm gonna stay on my tree.
Afra.
Okay, so the one that is that was always next to Vesh, if I hop up on this little 2-foot wall, can I see him over Jenna's wall?
I mean, it is down on the ground, you know? It's a scorpion. It's like a Roomba, you know?
The same for that one.
Okay. Well, if I can't see that one, then I'll aim at the other one that just tried to attack Vesh.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Sneak attack should be on. There we go.
Hey, nice.
Oh, yeah. One shot, one kill. The arrow goes cleanly into its face area, and the thing dies.
The girl with the golden gun.
Then I'm just gonna also stay where I am.
Okay. All right. This remaining one is gonna scuttle on over here. We do a +2 for flank in this, or did we not do any flank in this
I thought
game?
you said no flank.
Yeah, no
I think we
flanking.
didn't. Yeah, we did no flank. All right. So it's gonna scuttle over here and try to make an attack. Ooh, that is a 23.
Well, that definitely hits.
Yeah. So give me a Constitution saving throw against the poison.
Oof.
Oh, all right. So you take 3 points of piercing damage and 6 points of poison damage.
I have poison resistance, so that goes down to
3. Yep. So, all right. And that is its turn. Then the one over here, same thing. It is going to try to bite you. Oh, shit. That is a nat 20.
Oh, God.
I hate having like GM rolls like so much because like this is the kind of thing that like an angry 12-year-old would be like, and then he crits you. But I swear to God, it's actually happening. So, anyways, yeah. All right. So go ahead and give me another Constitution save.
Well, before that, does the piercing damage knock me out?
Well, let me see what the effect of the crit card is. Because these crit cards can be pretty nasty. Muscle Piercer. Your next attack using a melee weapon deals 1d4 less damage. So that's not the end of the world. So you take 6 points of piercing damage before the poison sets in.
That knocks me out then.
Oh, damn. Well, Constitution is a passive thing, so you still get to make a Constitution save against the poison damage. Oh, yeah, you make it. So you actually do not take the poison damage, which would have been 20 more points of poison damage, which I think would have overkilled you.
No, I wouldn't. I've got resistance.
Oh, that's right. It would have dropped. Yeah, okay, would have dropped it to 10. All right. And then you would have been paralyzed for an hour and all the other nastiness. But you are simply just dropped. And yeah, the two of them are very excited. So they are just sort of scuttling around you like, okay, we'll just eat this guy instead. Vesh, saving throw against death.
Constitution save first or death save? Which do you prefer?
For Vesh? No, he already made his Constitution.
Never mind.
Yeah, so Vesh, you have 1 success. Now, Hef, at the beginning of your turn, you make your saving throw against death. So you do need to get an 11 or higher, or that is the end of your character. Oh, Jesus.
And that one.
Oh my god. All right. That sucks, bro.
alright.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, he
Uh,
died
so
giving his
many
life for
plans
Jenna.
we've made are now.
so Jenna, like Wally is like trying his best to like, do crane medicine over here. And you see Hef's body just kind of like seize up and like start convulsing. And just like a neon green foam starts coming out of his mouth and his nose, and even like his eyes. And the body just kind of, it takes one final shit and it is done. And Wally looks over at you, like kind of cringing, like a dog that just got caught, like knocking over the trash can. Like, oh God, I done goofed hard. And yeah, that is that.
Yeah, Jenna just lets out like a really loud, audible scream.
Oh, all right. It kind of draws the attention. They can't see you, but it definitely draws the attention of these things. Garuda, the loud scream. You do notice some movement up in the attic of the house.
What side we're at?
Yeah, your side. So like over here, when there's that scream, you could have sworn you noticed the fluttering of some wings in the shadows of the attic.
Fuck though.
Afra's gonna roll her eyes and mutter something about stupid girls and loud armor.
Jenna, it is your turn.
Jenna's gotta get revenge.
Okay.
She walks up.
I mean, Jenna, I guess you wouldn't have actually seen Hef die, is the thing, right? Like, you just kind of got like a psychic feeling from Wally that like it's over. So, but as you turn the corner, you do see the green foam and his still body.
Why? We'll cast Frostbite on that one.
All right.
Die, beast.
It's got to make a Constitution saving throw. It makes it. Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go.
Yeah, you kind of like trace like a line of frost along the ground towards the creature, but it just scuttles out of the way as the frost would have hit it.
Then I'll scuttle back.
All right.
So no one can see my tears.
Naxos, it seems that your goddess has another soul to add to her horde. This pitiful blue creature has expired.
I'm gonna whisper, "Save the tank, please." I like.
Could have saved.
All right. Are you with us, Naxos? You might be muted. I don't know. I know he said he was peeing at one point, but that'd be
Yeah,
like.
I've been listening the whole time, but I didn't
Okay.
realize I was still muted.
Yeah, I was about to say that's like Adam Sandler's uncle peeing if you're still peeing. So
Austin Powers and the goat member peeing.
I realized after I fell prone that there's probably like a mechanic to get back up again. What's that mechanic?
You just
half your
lose half
speed.
your movement.
Yeah, half your speed to stand up.
So I'm gonna stand up, use half my speed.
Mm-hmm.
Which one of these is ranged again? Because I'm definitely not running over there to deliver anything.
Of your heals, healing word is
Cure.
the ranged one. Cure wounds is the touch one. Healing word is the cornerstone of all combat in 5th edition D&D. So it's definitely one that if you have access to it, you should definitely have it memorized at all times. All right, yeah, Vesh, your eyes open. You can feel the pitifully weak poison of these creatures lingering in your bloodstream. They are excitedly chittering and crawling all over you, looking for openings in your armor. Off in the distance, you hear the crashing of the waves and the laughter of a woman. But you are now awake, and you have 4 health. All right, Naxos. That is
Still
a
pro
minor.
on my
It's a
prediction.
minor action. Or sorry, a bonus action. A boner action. Hilarious.
A boner action.
No, it is a bonus action to cast Healing Word. So you still have an action, which could be used to cast a cantrip spell if you'd like.
I'm debating whether I want to dash around this wall here because this shit's going sideways.
Yeah, that's true.
If I dashed, could I clear this and get over there?
Yeah, you would just treat moving from this space to that space as difficult, so you would have to dash though to get around the wall. But yeah, you could reach it.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that then.
All right.
And just get around this corner here.
All right, Afra, you watch as he rises, he heals the Dragonborn, and then he flees.
And I'm gonna roll my eyes because here
All right.
I am in my tiny little leather armor.
Yeah.
And he's in this giant plate mail.
Well,
That's great.
it's chainmail. But
It's
yeah.
chain, but they bite and poison.
Yeah, when Jenna sees Naxos, she just tosses him the biggest look of resentment and hatred.
All right. Anything else from Naxos? I think you are spent on action
I'm
economy.
spent. Yeah,
All
my
right,
time is
this
done. So
this one is done. Wally, you're up.
Wally's gonna give the help action to this one.
All right, so he's gonna fly. Yeah, you gotta be adjacent to it to give it, but he has flyby, so that's fine.
Yep, and then he's gonna fly away. Let me check his flight
Okay.
speed. Oh wow, 60 feet. He's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
fly over here, and then over here, and he's just gonna start pecking at Naxos.
All right.
I do not consent.
Oh, Naxos begins waving it away with his shield, and Wally just sort of is angrily kind of trying to find a purchase to land so he can begin pecking at you. Gerudo, you are up.
Hey, question. Do I have advantage because I'm on a tree and they're on the ground?
You do not. No.
Fair enough.
It increases your range. That's it.
You have an
advantage if you attack this one.
You do have you do have a life advantage in that you can fucking fly all the time.
Lol.
So there is that. Yeah.
I'll attack this one then. with the
Mister, I'm in
sharpshooter.
a 15-foot high tree in no danger whatsoever. Yeah, that is a critical. I will check the crit card because it might give you a bonus attack. But suffice to say, with 18 points of damage, it is eradicated. So let's see. Quadruple damage. Yeah. So it is just a stain on the ground. You have just destroyed it.
Missed twice, but the one I hit, woof, I hit it real good.
Yeah. All right. Anything else from Garuda?
Nah, that's it. I'm good.
Okay.
Staying in my tree.
Yeah, the arrow hits so hard that it is buried all the way to the feathers in the ground. Like that is how hard it fired this thing. Dude is like a missile launcher. Afra, you're up. Whatever a missile is.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm gonna shoot at the one remaining one.
All right. Yeah, that will do it. Another well-placed arrow. It twitches and dies.
And then I am going to run back behind this wall with everyone else.
Okay. We're gonna stay in initiative because you have roused many of the creatures that live in the house with your shenanigans. That brings us to this guy who's dead. Vesh, you're up.
So yeah, he leaps to his feet, obviously half his movement, and looks around like for anything to kill, but it all seems to be dead.
Yeah, quite dead. There is just a pile of guts with an arrow plunged to the hilt, or it's not the hilt, to the fletching in the ground next to you, and there are 3 intact ones that were killed with almost surgical precision around you.
So he
there's also a mysterious wall
this
here.
wall, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He starts like he walks over to the side of this wall, like kicking the blood and the muck off of his boots as he does it.
Yeah, you turn and you see Hef. He is quite dead. Cause of death, poison.
Yeah, he kneels down to inspect him, and then he's just he gives up on him. He knows he's dead. And
Alright.
so he's gonna heal himself with 4 points of lay on hands.
Okay.
So he's now on 8 hit points instead, and that's his turn.
All right, Half. I am so sorry, but it is over for you. Before we start the next round,
You sent him a spare character sheet yet?
Yeah.
Let me grab these other guys real quick.
Elf 2.0 coming out.
Let's see. Okay. Up in the attic, you see bat-like creatures, Garuda, beginning fluttering towards the holes in the roof as they come down to investigate what is happening.
Can I yell out a warning before fucking they go?
Absolutely.
We got more company, boys.
They look like a hideous combination of mosquitoes and bats.
Fuck no.
And, yeah.
There's so much nope in here.
Yeah.
Can we run away?
Fuck.
You can totally run away.
Couldn't it just be a haunted house instead of these ones?
Full 50 feet fucking fly speed. I am out. Like, no.
We will need to switch over to a chase at this point if your intention is to run away. These creatures do have a 40-foot speed, but Garuda can warn you guys about this so that you can get a head start on them and see if you can get ahead of them. Does that sound like something we should do?
Yes.
All right, Vash.
Really running?
Vesh doesn't run battles. What are you talking about?
Well,
He'd curse you all for being cowards if you started legging.
Garuda, can you give me a perception check, please?
Happily
that you can see
crash.
just how many there are. Oh, yeah. That's a very good perception check. There are at least 4, possibly 8 of these creatures.
Never. There's like
Do you
5 or 8
do you roll?
bad monster thingies coming. We should probably get the fuck out of here.
And what? If we gotta come back here later, we'll have to kill him anyway.
I mean, there was an
Yeah, but
idea
maybe
to
they
burn
will
down
be
the house.
asleep.
You think the bugs will sleep? That we won't disturb
Well,
them as
we
walk
could
by?
also be super quiet this time.
And have another team member.
It seems
And
these
more spell
idiots
slots.
don't appreciate sleeping. Or stealth, I mean.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll get stealth with these fools.
All right, I will. Let's keep it
closely
going.
next.
Let's keep it going for now. If you
Yeah,
tell
let's
me
keep it
that you
going.
want to flee, you get to the edge of the map and say that I'm fleeing, and I will essentially say that you are fleeing from the fight, and that will be that. If you decide to stand and fight, I salute you. Control F on my keyboard. Jenna, start things off for me.
Jenna's gonna try and steal everyone's resolves. They're just
Okay.
bets. Just stand and fight. We have ranged. Take them out. There's no reason to run.
They're
And
not just-
Jenna's gonna she's gonna tactfully move over here. to where
No
she can
reason to
see
run.
over the
Run.
ledge. And she's going to ready a frostbite.
All right. Concentration for frostbite. Naxos.
I mean,
What are you gonna do?
it's minor illusion concentration. I don't think it is.
No, it's not.
Nah, it's just a adorable little fake wall.
It's there for an hour.
Or until she casts a new minor illusion. I
So
believe
we're-
like, the new
we're
one will
not-
override that.
We're not fleeing and regrouping to come back.
Well,
'Cause,
they're not.
I'm dashing over here.
Okay. Oh dang! All right, so you start running towards the front of the house. This is a 6-foot wall, so you can't really see what's on the other side of it. As you kind of run along.
Does he
it.
wake like the rest of the household up?
I sure hope so. All right, let's see.
He's
I'll
in
add.
chainmail.
I'll add some dynamic lighting there for you to make it a little more claustrophobic and exciting. There you go. All right. Yeah, so you start rushing back towards the sea cliffs. Got it. All right. Adorable bat creatures. Yeah, adorable bat creatures are gonna exit out of the window. That'll take, I'll say, 20 points of speed. They're gonna start descending down towards Vesh and Hef, because blood. So that'll take their speed, and then they will dash, and it will land on Hef's body.
Nice.
As you see it, Jenna, you can take your attack once it gets within range. Okay. Let's see. It's got to make a Constitution saving throw. It does. Yeah. As you go to frost it over, the creature just kind of like shrugs off the frost and settles down on Hef with every intention of drinking that sweet, sweet blood. Alrighty. Who else do we got? That's amazing. 3 of them got 16s. That's nuts. Okay. Another one, yeah, is going to come fluttering out of the window, and it will also go down and land on well, Vesh is there. So yeah, it is just going to fly. It is tiny, so it can be in the same space as you. It will just start like screeching in your face, screeching and buzzing in your face. You see that sticking out of its face, its bat head, is just this very long, ominously sharp-looking proboscis, and it is kind of like jabbing it at your face as it flies down towards you. Let's see, another one. It's gonna do the same thing. So use a dash action to get down on top of you. Wally, you're up.
Wally's just gonna come to me and sit on my shoulder, or on my head actually, and take the dodge action.
All right, I'll add a little bit more dynamic lighting there so that the walls feel a little bit more real for you. There you go. All right, Garuda, safe in your tree. I mean, except for the fact that these guys could fly.
Yeah. Which way did we come in at? Like, how did we get here?
You guys came from the top, or from the essentially where you guys are, this away. So the left-hand side of your computer monitor is where you came from.
Okay, bet. Yeah, I'm about to shoot this motherfucker with a longbow. Then the one that's one of the ones on Vesta, on Vest.
All right. So Veshkatel, the rocket launcher takes aim at you and fires.
Don't get that one, please.
All right, yeah. It just explodes, just as you hit it with your arrow. Just bat guts everywhere.
Okay, and I'm good for right now.
Okay. Afra, behind the wall, you hear the scree of these bat-like creatures taking flight.
I'm gonna follow Naxos.
All right.
And my computer's stroking out again, so if maybe you could move me.
Sure. Let's see. It would be movement and then a dash action to keep up with him.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. That brings us to...
Holy... Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Another adorable bat. Alright, let's see. This one is going to fly down and... there's a lot going on here. I'm going to roll a d6. 1 or 2, it will just go for Hef. Anything else, it will go for Vesh. Yeah, so it is going to use a dash action to fly into your space. Vesh, you're up.
Is there still the sound of more of them in the distance?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so he's gonna shrug these ones off and just step here.
Okay.
Then he's gonna turn around and he's gonna start kind of inhaling, and his chest puffs out. Basically, he's getting ready to roar as soon as all of the flapping noises are somewhat in range, like somewhat within that 30 feet. Getting ready to fear them, or attempt to anyway.
Oh, Yeah, so you don't have to disengage from them because they have
Yeah.
a reach actually of 5 feet, which doesn't make any sense. So you're still within their reach when you move out of the space.
Yeah, except that one
so
on Hef. I don't know if that one was going for me or not. So.
Oh, yeah, it was distracted by Hef, but you know what? I don't want you to feel like the game is too easy, so it will definitely try to attack.
Oh yeah,
you.
totally.
All right. So here we go. I know 5e gets a lot of slack for being too easy. Oh, my Monday group in particular, they're always complaining how easy Dungeons and Dragons is. All right, so here we go. 17 just
Doesn't
misses. All right. So you move away, and then?
So I just turn back to face them. Yeah, inhale and his.
Oh,
chest
you're gonna wait
puffs
for
out,
more to approach.
Yeah, until
Okay.
all of the flapping sounds are nearby, and then he's gonna roar.
Okay. Yeah, another one descends. I'll check again to see what it decides to do. It's just gonna fly down to Hef to start feeding. All right. Hef is a dead, and that brings us to what seems to be the last one, Garuda and Vesh. And this one's gonna fly down, and let's see. It's gonna go for you, Vesh. So as it's approaching you, you're gonna use your dragon fear. Okay.
Yeah.
So they all have to make wisdom saving throws. Okay, I'm gonna just do 1, 2, 3, 4,
It's DC
5 of them.
13.
All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. 2 of them pass, 3 of them fail.
Okay.
All right. So the 2 to your right pass. The other 3, including the one that was about to fly up to you, all fail. So they are all afeared.
Okay, good.
And let's see. There we go. Okay. And that was your readied action, yeah?
Yeah.
So unable to get any closer to the source of its fear, that one is actually going to turn back around with what little speed it has left and start heading back towards the attic.
Yeah.
All right. Do you guys want to do one more round? Since we were a little late getting started, or do you guys have things to do?
Yeah,
I'm fine with one more round.
This is the last
I'm
round,
okay.
Okay. Jenna, your turn.
That's not a bad shout against this sort of thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
Our cast sleep.
They all fall asleep. Since one of them was flying, he actually takes fall damage. So it hits the ground, and you just hear a crack, and it dies from the fall damage. The others were not flying high enough that they would take any fall damage, but they just sort of bloop, 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 like fall to the ground. And they are asleep. All right, mischief managed.
Yeah, and that's Jenna's turn.
All right, Naxos, you're up.
So he doesn't know what's going on behind him.
Correct.
It was fucked
Jenna's
up beyond all
calling you
repair.
cowards.
Yeah, exactly.
So my movement can get me to the cliffs.
Oh,
and
you would have
jump,
heard
but
Vesh roaring, though, right?
yes, more terrifying noises. I hear flapping. I hear a dragon roar.
Oh yeah, you hear a terrifying, just like dragon roar. Yeah, it is a mess back there.
Would Naxos take falling damage diving into the water?
There are actually rules for that. If you try to dive, currently you are 80 feet up from the water.
In other words, yes.
Yeah, so you would definitely take some fall damage. Assuming the water was at least 10 feet deep, you would not take 20 feet of the damage. So you'd still take 6d6 points of fall damage. If you're deliberately diving in, you can reduce the damage by making an awesome acrobatics or athletics check. But diving is still very dangerous. So I think you would probably math it out in your head that unless you were an ace with this dive, you would probably die on the rocks below. Again, it's called the Sword Coast for a reason. Very sharp, very dangerous coastline.
And what's the mechanics for climbing down?
That would be athletics check. These are wet, seaside cliffs, so it would be pretty difficult. A fail would cause you to fall, and you wouldn't even get the benefits of diving at that point. You would just be falling.
Well, that's a lot of no there as well. I was going to be dramatic and just dive off. Waterman returning to water. But I guess he's going to flee the field.
All right, so you start heading down the coast back towards Saltmarsh. All right.
Anywhere I can get into water.
Okay. That brings us to adorable buggies. All right. Well, these buggies are frightened, but they do have a meal here.
But they're asleep.
But they're asleep. That's right. So they just missed their turn, and they snooze on their delicious morsel that they have found for themselves. Wally, you're up.
Wally's just gonna take the dodge action.
All right,
actually,
Garuda.
Wally, never mind. I changed my mind. If you don't mind me retconning.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Wally's gonna action dash, and he's gonna just fly in front of Afra, and he's gonna try to stop her from being a fucking coward.
All right, so he's gonna do that Disney cartoon bird thing where you just kind of barrel roll in the air and fan your wings as wide as you can. Okay. Gotcha. Garuda. Sleeping opponents are awesome unless you are a ranged person because they count as being prone, and in 5th edition, prone targets are at disadvantage for you, or you have disadvantage to shoot them. So
just dash over here. They're asleep for an entire minute.
Yeah.
I don't want to dash over. What? Do I'm beside a fucking tree. Why don't I? No. Okay.
All right.
I will shoot with a longbow with disadvantage. Fuck that shit.
All right. Shoot him with disadvantage. Ooh, a 9 does not hit. The arrow just kind of, the arrow plunges into the ground near them, but does not hit them.
Go anywhere near them things, dude. What the fuck?
All right, Afra, you're up.
Okay, I'm gonna brush past Wally, who is super annoying.
Okay.
I'm gonna move up to this corner here.
From here, you would see that Naxos, way down from where you currently are, is headed north back towards Saltmarsh. It seems.
Yeah.
Like he is noped out of this mission.
I'm not 100% noping out.
Okay.
But I'm gonna. Oh wait, I didn't have my thing selected. There we go. I'm gonna.
I will say that Naxos, as cowardly as what you have done is, it is the most real thing I've ever seen a first level character do. It is absolutely the realest thing that I've ever seen like a level 1 character do. If I saw a bunch of 2.5 foot long centipedes come out and just drop a dude,
2 dudes. He dropped 2 dudes.
Yeah. I would be like, yeah, probably not.
And then motherfucking bats.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Afra, what are you gonna do? You move past Wally.
Yeah, and I've moved to this little corner here. And I would like to look around and see what I can see if there's anything around that corner.
Okay, you want a solid snake peek around the corner? I got you.
Yeah.
All right, so you peek around the corner. You see that there's still that stone wall. There's a stone wall that's overgrown with like hedges and whatnot. And there is the path leading towards the iron gates and the front door of the property.
Okay. I'm going to hide.
Okay.
Actually.
All right. Go ahead and roll a stealth check. All right. Cute bug bat continues to snooze. So Vesh, you're up.
So he just looks over his shoulder at Garuda's arrow missing, like him just hunkered in the tree, and he just shakes his head, and he's like, "You're just as bad as the others." Well, he turns back to Jenna, and he's like, "You're doing, I assume." Thank you.
Yes.
And then he's going
could
to
draw them quickly.
Yeah, he's gonna do that.
Okay.
First of all, I want to test it, right? Can I just stomp them, and then will they die?
Really, like an attack roll with advantage or a athletics check would be required at this point. But again, if you hit, it will be a critical hit. So
What I mean is, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna just try and stomp on one of them, basically, like with derision.
oh yeah, so you just crush it under your foot.
Yeah, and it would
no
do
problem.
six damage.
Yeah.
Seeing this, yeah, he's quite happy to just continue doing that until they're all piles of nothing.
Yeah. So when you smash this thing, it is just maximum double damage. Like you just destroy it. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, he's just lifting his foot up and stomping them one by one until they're all
Okay.
gone.
And they snooze through, and that brings us to the end of the round and the end of this session. Oh my god. That was kind of crazy.
Those centipedes did a lot of damage.
Yeah, centipede. Like there are some. First level is the most terrifying Dungeons and Dragons can ever be. Is at first level, for sure. Okay. Wow. Yeah, let me get her out of here. So a couple things. I guess Hef, I'm gonna need you to come up with a new character for next week.
Maybe one of the previous group is just hiding inside.
Yeah, there's a couple options to segue in here. Maybe you were sent to keep an eye on this on these new recruits, and you were already an established member of the guild. Maybe you
I was
are
heading down that path.
yeah, or you are a surviving member of the initial group. So you have a little bit of intel about what's happening in the house and what happened, or maybe you fled when the others started getting janked up, and you were too afraid to go back and face the Zhentarim as a coward. So you've been sort of waiting here for the last day and a half, trying to figure out what your next move is. You could be an independent contractor who wanted to check out the house on their own. There's a lot of different reasons that you could be there. So we'll work on something to sort of segue you in there. Though if you were an established member, you could take the faction agent background, which would be kind of hype.
That's what I was looking at. Yeah, I was looking at Paladin. Yeah,
because a faction agent background, when there's an actual faction involved in the campaign, is a very nice background. So it's just something to kind of keep in mind. Wow. Okay.
Weeks of planning.
Word on unconscious members with 2 death saves. Pro tip.
Oh man. Okay. So yeah, you guys have a week
if he'd
to
have
plan.
cast healing word on the guy, he wouldn't have saved him because he couldn't have moved, couldn't have taken any sort of action. And
Yeah, he wouldn't have
Poison
done
making death saves.
any additional attacks against him from the centipedes would have been
crits.
auto crits anyways, because he would
He
have
was
been paralyzed
hidden
from
by the
venom.
wall.
I mean, they're centipedes. They have blind sight.
Think of it this way: he was hidden by the wall, by Vesh.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Naxos had already had his turn that round.
I figured they got blindsight also.
Yeah, you guys are level 1. You guys are level 1. You learn. Some people are learning the game. The best thing that you can do is move on and build each other up. Don't shit happens.
Exactly.
Shit happens.
You guys are playing. You guys are playing.
You
guys are playing with critical hit cards, and these critical hit cards are not forgiving. There are some real nasty ones in there. So anybody could be dropped for any reason. So you got to keep that in mind. That being said, let me see if you like how much XP you got. I don't think too much, but we'll see.
That should be enough to level. Yeah. The question is, are we all coming at the same level? Are we all going at the same level?
I would assume that everybody would just keep it universal level through the campaign.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm alright with everyone having shared XP.
So are they at level 2 or?
So the total XP for today's session is 63 whole points of experience.
That's enough.
So now, in order to level up, you will have to take a long rest, which you can't do for another 20 hours or so, because you can only do one every 24 hours. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Can have this new character come in at level 2?
That won't happen. No.
He can just do it every time as us.
Yeah, so it's that feeling when you're playing Minecraft and you have like 47 levels, but you didn't spend them doing enchanting, so everything has so much more to lose because you're carrying around all them XP points. That's sort of the feels. But I will add that to your level up thread real quick. If you guys, I mean, again, it's Dungeons and Dragons. If you guys are like, you know what, they didn't tell us there was a timeline, we're gonna fuck off for a day, and we're gonna like think about what's happened here, and then we're gonna level up and approach it with a new strategy. That's
Fuck
fine.
that. Just short rest. Get our asses
That's what
back.
I was. That's what I was suggesting.
So again,
The characters are gonna die, or they're or they're not.
Somebody suggested burn down the house. I like that idea
just
too.
get there and do it.
Dude, I just want to let you know that I have about 15 pages worth of cons that involved me and
Yeah, dude, weeks of fucking planning shit out, Zach. Weeks of planning shit out.
What me and him are gonna do for weeks.
Dude,
All
weeks
I've
of
gotta
fucking
say-
planning.
All I gotta say, right, is that was your mistake for thinking your level 1 character was gonna survive.
Oh no!
For 15
No, it's fine.
15 pages.
No, I'm totally all right with character death and him dying.
Yeah. No, I appreciate the work that you guys put into it, and but honestly, like, yeah, low level is terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying.
Honestly, if you're not going down every combat, you're either playing some sort of
If
snipey
anything,
range character, or
just
you're doing it wrong, pretty much.
Yeah,
but-
if anything, this just propels Jenna to end up being more reliant on the party and not just one individual that is Hef. So it's
Oh, man.
like not a bad thing. Like it's good character development.
just pick up.
You've
unseen
already
servant
moved
pretenders.
on.
I haven't moved on.
Wow. All right, guys.
I straight up put in my features. I straight up put that like she secretly loves you, and that she'd do
Aw.
anything for you.
Well, it sounds like you guys
Wait
have a
till-
lot to
Like
process.
make him sleep on the floor.
Wait until you meet my new character, Jenna.
Oh.
And if there was any members of the Thieves Guild that you saw that you wanted to be like, can I dibs on that character? That is totally cool. Also, we can switch them over from a rando NPC into your PC if you don't have, if there was something that caught your eye, sort of thing. Otherwise, totally original character. Just kind of keep me in the loop as you build them and get ready for next week. And I guess that is it for today's session. Yeah. All right. I hope everybody enjoys their week. And if you have any questions about anything, hit me up in chat. The Pokemon free chat, no less. And yeah, it's a lot of fun, guys.
Later.
All right.
All right.
See ya.
Later, Crash.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Good times.